live yet, but good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to have a very interesting one. If you see the title here, it says Jerome Powell. We are going to be hearing from him, but the bad news is that you're not going to hear from him till around 1 p.m., and it's just an intro. He's not expected to go over any monetary or economic policy. Other than that, though, there was a lot of headlines over the weekend. We did not hear much on the whole China stuff. If anything, there was a little bit more escalation between us and China. Yeah, and now it's just, And now we are waiting to hear back and see where we go here for the second half of the year. Do we have the Mag 7 leading? Do we still have trade issues? Does the S&P go or not? And where does policy and rates and all of that fit into it? But should be a pretty good day. You got a lot of biotech headlines. That's what I was just telling everybody. But it's going to be a good one. And now we got 3 minutes until the bell. And welcome to the second half. So I do need to go to the bathroom here. I'm glad that you are here. You got a big NVO dark pool again on a Monday? It's not even end of the month. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. But, chat, I got to go pee, but I like it. This is a good time to post plays. Otherwise, after the bell, I will ban you if you have not read the rules. So, get on that. Post your plays. I got a bunch that I'm going to be looking at. I'm hoping for a commercial here, but in the meantime, I would watch XLV, Labu, IBB. I already had NVO written down, and then Meta, Target, and Boeing. I really like Boeing. Bank of America said exactly what we said on the watch list yesterday. Again, we talked about materials. There's a lot going on there, so I would keep another eye that. And then, again, Meta, the AI ad creation. If you guys didn't hear about that, I think that's big. It reminds me of 2015 when Meta first released, like, any ad creator. Now, this time, almost 10 years later, it's just with AI. So we'll see. But other than that, we got 2 minutes until the bell. Are you locked in? Best I can do is Bloomberg
Asia
music.
is a continent of contrast.
Now they're talking
the region
about
is a nexus
I'll let you guys listen to an ad. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram, After Trading Fraternity. And Real Code News on Twitter. Get ready for a good day, baby. Happy Monday.
The limits of technology even further.
Going to space should become as easy as taking a flight.
If NASA is designing a lander, their approach is they're designing a Formula One car. So we take, say, a Jeep approach.
Minso, give us a sense of how you translate Korean architecture for the rest of the world.
We call this madang. In general terms, it's where we can be ourselves, where we belong.
There is an old saying in Korea that says, "거미 불루, 화이 불치." It means simple but not humble. So it has a tremendous impact on Korean architecture.
People tend to think the robot AI taking the job from them. We want to use the robot as a basic asset, meaning people have an income through the robot.
From space tech in India to robotics in Japan, Asia is driving the future, reshaping industries, societies, and the way we live. Join me as I take you through the bold innovations.
Let's go. You got about 30 seconds. Again, we already went over the plays. A lot of the pre-market movers, a lot of biotech. You had biotech, again, a lot of FDA action, a lot of details from the FDA. And then on top of it, you also had the buyout by, was it AstraZeneca? They bought a BP, whatever, for a couple $1 billion. So thought that was fascinating. Other than that, Chad, 10 seconds. Call out any news. And if you need anything, you let me know. And yeah, follow all the rules, please. And good luck. Let's have a good one. Round one. Fight. All right.
Let's get a mad dash with Jim as we count.
Okay, that scared me. All right, well, Jim is going to get the mad dash going. Yeah, CoreWeave up. Remember, last week was its first, big sell. Again, there was something on Dell with the government and government contracts, so see how that plays. Other than that, materials, Boeing, all of those are all still in play. So let's see how. NVO. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Do you guys hear that? I'm raising my desk. It's still mad slow. Pizza. Yeah, I want to see, again, healthcare, though. That's although pizza and some of those staples will be fun. Again, healthcare staples, it's it stands out really big. There's a pair of NVOs that are lagging, too, actually. What day is that? June 20th. ZS on the high. Palo Alto, again, CoreWeave, Unity going up. IonQ, Qualcomm. Again, there was a couple of offerings, too, on some of the quantum ones in the morning. Palantir, NVIDIA, Apple, too. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Ukraine was weird. They pretty much had that meeting in Turkey, and I think they concluded it, but they still met after all of it. Surprisingly, after how bad the weekend was, you would have thought there would have been more, but there wasn't. TEM and Palantir on the high. Again, IoT, they had a headline this morning as well. Gold is up. Watch if anything happens with currencies. And then NVIDIA, don't forget, they had earnings last week. So, again, we got washed on those weeklies last week. I got one still, but it's literally down 80% still. So, again, a lot of all these plays from last week are really cheap. So, if you think it won't get pinned down this time, it's time to go. Other than that, you wait a little bit, they'll be even cheaper. Again, you have a couple of NVOs are finally starting to move. Even some of the leaps as well. Duolingo on the high. RCAT had something as well. Again, all of these like biotech, small medical companies, bro, even like Lyle. Yeah, we have this one too. Like a lot of these names just popped randomly. It's very, very odd. Not odd, it's just there's a lot of activity in those buyouts. FI on the high. Sentinel 1. AMD, I saw a lot of people pumping AMD over the weekend. So that could be good. Honestly, I think you just need chips to have a good day. And then Amazon's on the high as well. You're only down by 0.19 on the SPY. Dow Jones down by a third. Russell's dancing between negative and positive, and NASDAQ is up by 0.08. Yeah, all of the IMNN, that one's still going. Oh, wow, at $3? Dude, I think it was at $1. Nice if you got that one. I know we had a call out, but that one, that was like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. That was with Envitas. Sweet Greens is still going. Oh, man. I want an NVO again, but those NVO options suck. I guess. Okay, now the NVOs are coming back. Never mind. But, yeah, there was a couple of delaying ones. Oh, Pepsi and then UNH too. Again, XLV and Staples, if you were on the watch list last night, just get ready. The next couple of months, Staples, we've really got to see. But then again, a lot of people are going to start pumping Mag 7. So again, I've given you this idea a while ago, but you guys don't forget about it. Mag 7 and that Mag 7 leadership. 2 weeks ago, hedge funds were the most shorted. Last week, they bought more tech stocks than ever before. So don't forget about that, though. Like, again, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, Apple, that's where all of it's going to be at. Man, Tempest, as long as that stays up, that'll be good. Even NVO starting to go. The high ticker, again, there's Meta 52-week high. Oh, no, I'm tripping. Something else flashed. X on the high, too. MP started going down. Toyota. Then you got Google. Again, it's 50-50 here. You got both going. It's a lot of, literally, high tickers is going in blocks. Lira. Yeah, I like Mag 7 plays if you can find a good one. It all depends on time. I still have those old Googles. They're up too. Hood new all-time high. Nice. Google. CXW. MP. That one's still moving, though, on the low ticker. Again, NVO is actually starting to go. And watch Boeing. And there's a SPY. SPY is barely green. It's actually weird. SPX, I think, is red. Yeah, I think SPX might be red. And then SPY itself is actually green. Let's see. Yeah, the SPY. No. SPX is down, yeah. SPX is down, and then the actual, like, ETF is green. So, interesting. Equal weight. Oh, equal weight is murdered right now. So, yeah, I'd be careful. It's either going to be one of those days where everything splits apart, but do not be deceived, my brother. You literally, all of this move right now is just a couple of tech names. So, we'll get the checkup in a little bit. But, yeah, equal weight gap down pretty hard here to start off the morning. I think that is fascinating. Again, watch dollar, any global currencies. That'll be a big deal. Tesla on the high. There's UNH. They all saw a lot of moves. That's Chewy. And Walmart. Walmart's starting to pop out here. And Spotify. And Mara even. I saw MSTR earlier. Yeah, you do have data in a little bit. This data is going to be big, actually. So, again, manufacturing. ISM manufacturing data is really important. Again, this is going to be the leader into the non-farms. You could extrapolate from the data and then just in general, hard data, soft data. Yo, Ford and GM. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ford and GM. They are moving like they have news. So, yeah, Ford is down by 2.5. That's pretty big considering all the small moves we've seen. Yeah, take a look at GM. They're both dumping, and then Tesla was just going up. So, yeah, U.S. domestic automakers, eyes on that. LT at all-time highs, baby. Oh! Amen, amen. Let me see. I haven't logged into the long term. We got our deposit, though. That's a good thing. So, happy with that. Ford paid their dividend. Again, I think those autos are very odd. I don't know why they started moving out of nowhere. Again, be on the lookout for any, like, Ukraine headline and war, but I'm surprised. They definitely cooled off compared to yesterday. Walmart's still going. That one's at the high. Google now, AU. But again, Mag 7, Mag 7, Mag 7. I can't stress it enough. If the next couple of weeks do good or if the next couple of weeks do bad, you still might see a Mag 7 leadership. Again, it all depends on everybody else, but that is definitely a theme. Core Weave, those plays are back up to 7,000%. Woo! Okay, Walmart as well. Watch the Staples. Like I said, Staples is going to be a hit or miss. Look at Staples are still in the red. Again, Dow Jones is still down. Russell and NASDAQ are up. SPY is now red, and the SPX. There's TEM and Meta. Line new all-time. Was that the one with the Tesla stuff on last week? There was one of those. Or no, that was Oust. Oh, what the stat? Oh, Neta. I meant to type in Meta. There's a difference between Neta and Meta. You know? Oh, I got my cash. Yeah, 9,900. So it finally settled. But there it is. So we probably have 900 in the small account. But yeah. So now we're up to 3.98%. We have 4% cash in the long term. CoreWeave Nude applied digital surges on AI data center. Oh, is that what it was? They surprisingly didn't show up in the morning. Again, that Meta stuff is big, though. I keep seeing that and them getting into AI ad creation. I don't know. It reminds me of the OG when they launched the first one. Oh, I forgot about the background music. Oh, my God. I knew something was missing. I don't know. Do you guys want it? How do you feel? Would you like some Zen? I totally forgot. I was just vibing, bro. NUE, new core again, materials going up, and then Broadcom. APLD signs 2 15-year leases with CoreWeave. Crowd. Namaste. Namaste. Please don't. Well, please do. I don't know. You guys are kind of split. Well, we'll see. I guess if some of you don't like it, then I could use it as your chill out. So you guys are doing good so far. But maybe if I need you guys to chill out, I'll have to sound bathe you. Is that the right term? Good morning. Good morning. Snowflake on the high. That's 210 already. Again, that's almost another 10% from earnings. Like, that's a really good post-earnings. Ford and GM are still dropping. Is that GLD on the high? Again, NASDAQ and Russell are the only ones green right now. Some morning zen. Indeed. Pizza. I can't believe that thing's still at 45. It's not moving. Nib is too. They had a $1 billion bond offering, I think. Whoa, big volume on TLT. Oh, I thought that said TLT 65. I was going to throw up. But yeah, pretty big gap down there. Humble. Oh, you already got a humble gym sesh? Oh, my goodness. God bless you. God bless you. Pepsi, bro. Dollar General, again, Dollar Tree, Dollar General were pretty wild last week. CoreWeave, aggressive put riders. Airbnb on the high. Let's check. Etsy running up. I'm going to put CoreWeave. Let's see the volume. Again, though, Friday was a real doozy. Again, there was a lot of, like, even predicted volume that didn't come through. So, let's see. Again, I mean, anything, we could have all these little signals, but we do need follow-through. Yeah, CoreWeave's not expecting a lot. Or my thing's not working. But it's showing me a weird print. CoreWeave. Oh, no. There it is. So, CoreWeave is already trading more. It's expected to have slightly, it'll be the most volume on CoreWeave in the last 5 trading days. That is what is expected. But then again, that could change. So remember this number, 42.3. Okay? And then that's it. What's up with Intel? They're chilling. They got Liputan and they got the new CEO, but their earnings, their guidance, they haven't really made any crazy moves. This is why I was saying it end of last year. I said no matter what, Intel just might be a 2026 story. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but I was talking about that because they still just got to turn it around, and even with the new CEO, it's been slow. But we talked about it a lot last week. The book value, you know, that's why Intel doesn't go down. That's why Intel stays the same price, because pretty much it's trading at like a 12-15% discount to its book value. So people believe that the company is worth its assets, but that's about it. And you know, they're willing. You can't sell it off anymore unless you think the company is going to go like bankrupt. So it's probably going to stay pinned at the low until Liputan and the team actually get a turnaround. So yeah, gotta watch out for that. Kramer is pumping CoreWeave now. And then watch material plays. Don't forget about that. I see Hormel. There's UNH on the high. Again, I have Airbnb up. Yeah, Hormel just started waking up. But staples are not strong. There's Kohl's. If you like any small caps. Again, we talked about this one the other day. They were up a lot too. Oh, shit. Bro, I just dropped a bunch of shit on my keyboard. Sorry, keyboard. Philip Morris on the high. Wheat, that moved a little bit related to that stuff. INMM is at, oh, okay. Whew. I was like, that went to $5. Oh, and DJT, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. You guys remember? Oh, I'm down on them now. Yeah, I'm 30% down. And the lotto didn't work. I forgot about that. You guys remember DJT and the Bitcoin stuff on Thursday? U.S. said to per selling 1 million barrel emergency diesel fuel cash. UNH. AEM on the high. Then there's staples now. That'd be good if they could keep going. I'm INM. I keep seeing these little small caps. Yeah, whatever this is. InMed Pharma up 143%. I just keep seeing this one print. Again, the last couple of weeks, every start to the week really has been a start of small caps. Lira. So yeah, you're still gonna get those. Again, NVO is still climbing. I told you guys some of those contracts were lagging. They were down 60, and now they're only down 20. But see if those get a bid or not. But June, out of the monies are cheap on NVO because it doesn't move a lot. So in the money is better, out the money's cheaper, and if it really squeezes, that'll be good. But I haven't made anything else, another play besides what we've already had from last week or 2 weeks ago. Hims on the high, and then Unity. Again, we had a lot on Unity last week too. Hopefully you got that free 40%. Unity. The Unity contracts are still holding, though. After that, make it free. They went down 40, 50, same price now. SMCI's going now, too. XLP, CLBR, Nugget. A lot of things are moving. Well, 45. Again, we're going to get data here in about 15 minutes. Give me the ISM service. in one day. Yeah, so top of the hour. Yeah, you just got the S&P manufacturing. That just came out at, what, 52? But no. You want ISM. It's big. This is the one that really does matter. So S&Ps just came out, but that's not the one you're really looking for. Big red on Oxy. Well, watch out there. Disney, too. I forgot about them. Even on the long term, they've done good. Gold all day today, so watch out for that. Because, again, some of those other days, gold last week was kind of doing the inverse. But, yeah, gold is starting off very strong. You are coming down. Equal weight's hitting a new low. So, look, SPY, Dow, Russell, NASDAQ, everything's barely moving. But, like, equal weight dumped, man. It's like absolutely nuts. So, like I was telling you even last week or yesterday, the staples, there's a big effect there. There's a lot of money going to Mag 7, but you could kind of see it, the impact. There's a majority of names down. I'll get you guys a checkup here in 13 minutes. So we will see. The trade alerts, there's no trade alerts available right now, unfortunately. You can get a long-term, though, and saving a long-term has been known to affect people positively. RTX popping. Remember last week they were on fire. SPY's getting candles. Again, I'm trying to see which names are moving it or the broader sectors right now. And then CME on the high again. Yeah, some names are holding like Walmart. They shit on Target over the weekend. Is Target about to hit a new low or no? Yeah, 92. So watch out if that breaks. Bank of America even down 1.2. I haven't looked at financials yet. Intuit on the high. Remember, there was a lot of drama around those last week. SPY's just right where we opened. That's the funniest part. Yeah, you just got S&P PMIs. They came in slightly lower. In 12 minutes, we get the ISM. So that number is expected to be 49. The employment number is going to be 47. And then price is expected to be 71. So pretty much look for the employment gauge, look for the manufacturing gauge, and then prices. Prices goes down, people will like that. That goes up, people won't like it. And then just in general, stronger, weaker manufacturing activity, that's going to lead into the non-farms. Again, there has been some lags, and it's not like a perfect one-for-one if you've watched along with me, but generally it's a very, very good piece of info for a lot of other things. CMS, and then there's Microsoft now. So it's hard to ignore, you guys. I mean, Mag 7, it's not like major, but they are all holding up, and you could kind of see how the market's doing. Amazon just flipped though. So see, and then even Google. So maybe they're all coming down, and then Meta's really leading, but they have a headline. Thank you, Shiv. Good morning. Happy Monday. Tesla, we might just need the market, but I think the Elon leaving was going to be a good catalyst, but at the same time, I mean, it is up. The stock's up like, what, $120 in a month and a half? 2 months? Bro, I&M, whatever this one is. So, again, that actually moved another 30%. Again, small cap, be careful. I had a great weekend. I was a little sore. I worked out kind of. I never usually do that. But we were doing a lot of walking and hiking, and then I started doing like workouts, and then I was tired, but it was like refreshing tired. Nikes. All right, SPY's coming down. Tesla robotaxi next week. I would love to see it. I'm interested, but for now, I think Waymo is a fucking leader, dude. That thing is crazy. Oil's coming down too. I&M, whatever that is, still going. Now, SPY has reversed. Everything's down about 0.5%, except the NASDAQ. And like I'm telling you, we noticed it from the morning. Equal weight is really down. So there's a couple of bigger tech names that are holding you up, but it's hard to get a grasp on what today is leading and lagging. Again, a couple of other big winners that we like, but other than that, What to see? Oh, Boeings. I forgot about those. All the Boeings are working still. All the Boeing premium from last week is up. AMD, yeah, I'm saying over the weekend, a lot of people were bullish on AMD. Or I heard more bullish things on AMD than I have in a couple of months. I don't know if you could buy a personal Waymo. No, Tesla flushing. Waymo's just all Google, all Google. Dominion on the high. Again, energy names they should be moving. Even utilities are about to go green here, but take a look. Again, energy just flushed. Yeah, again, OPEC, it was up 4%. So see, that's either going to bounce or honestly, oil might be able to sell like another 2% today. And then SPY coming down. So first new low intraday, 5884. So again, 887, 884. This is kind of a level. So yeah, and then I think we go to what, like 72, and then we play that game. And you have a gap at 59.11. You have not broken above what, 59.50, 59.60. That was the high 2 weeks ago, middle of May. And now it's the first or second day of June. I&M. Again, yeah, that thing's still going. I don't have a play. That's in the bottom right. You ran a race on Sunday and then pitched a complete game and you won. The guy played in the majors. Oh, no way. Dude, how does your shoulder, bro? Do you have shoulder pain when you pitch? Because that's crazy, bro. If you still pitching, good work. Good work. Sounds active. I think we both had active weekends. I love it. Usually I chill, though, on the weekend. That's why. And SPY's still going. That's 4 or 5 candles straight down. Again, a couple of names are still doing good. Now Airbnb, that one flipped. Flip. And then, yeah, 7 more minutes. You'll get a real reaction. So like I'm saying, ISM, there's going to be a lot in store. Both, I think, immediate reaction and then the next, like, couple of hours it'll go there. Again, U.S. selling the 1 million emergency diesel fuel. That was earlier. Planned sale of U.S. heating home oil reserve. I don't know if Kramer's pumping CoreWeave. I know he said he likes it, and the stock was higher, but now it's lower. But other than that, I think CoreWeave had a deal with Applied, APLD, and then after last week, it had a lot of selling. And then look at this SPY. Oh, what about Bradley Fraser and the page? Shit, where's my horn, bro? You kidding me? Hard up. Bro, over the weekend, even I told you, I said, y'all know the truth. You know Boeing. You know the peach. You know the truth. You know the peep. Stop it. Even Bank of America was like, yeah, Boeing that's the one, man. So, wow. Thank you, Bradley Fraser. Did you have a good weekend, Bradley Fraser? Oh, I hope you did, baby. Good morning. Are you kidding me? Oh, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now take a look at Boeing, who have been blessed with consistency right before your eyes. Wow. Happy Monday. They don't know, man. They don't know. Ukraine defense minister says Russia handed over memorandum to Ukraine at Istanbul Kyiv review document. They says Russia and Ukraine agreed to swap all seriously ill and under 25 years old prisoners of war. Ukraine defense minister says Kyiv believes all key issue talks can be resolved with the levels of leaders. Says Kyiv proposed to hold a meeting by end of June to make progress. Honestly, it sounds good. I thought that was all about to get washed after the weekend, but maybe the reporting was just dramatic. Because literally, yeah, it doesn't seem that crazy. Setting up to close. Good, man. Good. Check values. Check your values, especially in Florida. So I've seen some fucked up shit. Dude, I saw one the other day. House in Florida purchased in 2022 for $550,000. Today it is sitting at the market, on the market at $375 and cannot sell. Intel on the high. Intel at 1950. So yeah, Intel, I think it got even cheaper now that I think about it. Like relative to book, I think it was at 0.88. Intel. Ex-dividend. Why does it have an ex-dividend date? They cut it. Oh, well, never mind. Ukrainian department says Ukraine cannot react to Russian proposals in Istanbul because Ukraine only received them on Monday. Yeah, but Florida, you guys, if you're buying any property in Florida, you better make sure that that house is cheap. Just do not be overpaying. Do not give in to your emotions. Just be careful. Florida, Austin, any of the places that were popular 2-3 years ago, just be very careful. Just make sure, because it's not a seller's market. It's a buyer's market right now. And, you know, you could find that. And there's a reason why new builds have been doing better than existing homes. It's because they offer the cut on the interest rate. But definitely, like I said, bro, I've seen some crazy ass house deals that leave me scratching my head. But you're finally starting to see that. I haven't seen that. Last time I saw somebody buy a house and then 2 years later can't sell it for 30% less, it was like 2018 and then like 2013 shit. But this is definitely an interesting vibe. So be wise. UNH decent red. They were leading. Watch Bowen. We just got the peach. Yeah, UNH gave up half of that. Again, XLV's on the low. And then INM. Watch Labu too. Any of the biotechs. Again, actually, those are still up a shit ton, but that's came down. But like I was telling you in the morning, bro, there were so many of them. All right. So 2 more minutes till data. Get ready. So this data is going to be big, and SPY is into the low already. So, yeah, take that how you want to, but that's very interesting. So, yeah, you're actually into the low as the data is about to come out. So like I was saying, employment, there's an employment factor, and then there's a prices factor, and then there's the overall gauge. So the overall gauge correlates to the non-farms, but then see what the jobs part of this report ends up saying. You got an off market. We love off markets. Big fan of off markets. All right, 40 seconds or so until the data. Get ready. Okay, 20 seconds. The expectation for the gauge is 49, employment 47, prices 71. So, again, higher or lower, pretty easy to read. It could get really bad with the data, or it could get a lot better. And, again, you already have a certain set of laggers and leaders, and here we are. Woo, big move on bonds. So, prices plummeted. Not really, but they dropped. That was the lowest price reading in 2. The manufacturing gauge itself came in a little softer. Well, no, their prices gauge. Bloomberg has a higher price gauge. They're saying it beat, but it didn't. Little scammers. So, yeah, mine says 71. Other people had 69. So they're saying it came in higher. But, no, I have one at 71. But it's one of the lower readings there, but still elevated. And then the overall gauge went slightly lower. Where's employment? Employment was same 46.8 versus 47. Honestly, so just not telling. I'm surprised the SPY is going down like that, but I think that just might be an excuse. So, yeah, this isn't anything out of the ordinary. It's not going to give you the same signal. So, like, remember, the last time we've looked at the ISM manufacturing, kind of looks like the non-farms, but it wouldn't. So, yeah, it is like, I'm surprised the market's moving like that, but for now, I would just say it's kind of a dud. Manufacturing is a little weaker. Prices are still a little elevated, and the jobs market still strong, and then just lower than where we're at. But bonds had a bigger reaction, but that, I think, just welcome to Monday. Yeah, big tech start. I think if Mag 7 starts to come down, you'll get a move, but yeah, I don't think that is it doesn't, unless they want a tantrum, it doesn't give me like data vibe. Oh my gosh, we have to move. Unity got a little pop there. Gold is going up. And maybe bonds, this looks like a huge candle. It's about third, honestly. It's like a 0.25% in one candle, but just remember intraday the movements have already been small. Low ticker is fully gassed though. So you were still going down. Yeah, construction spending plummeted. That was the other set of data that came out with it. All right, then you're going to get Fed speakers, and then that's pretty much it for the day in terms of data. So, yeah, spot moving around, but I'd say wait till Euro close if this is going to keep going another hour and a half. Let's check the volume. You've been here for 30 minutes. 10 million, so a lot lower than last week. Last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, when we opened up the week, we were doing like 18 million by the first hour. So you're like half of that or a little bit more. Oh, Habibi. So I don't know if you guys knew this. Dow Jones, there's only 5 names green today. So that's what I was saying. Like, the data just came out and we're selling, but I think the trend was already in play. And it doesn't mean it can't change. But you only have 5 names green on the Dow. The other 25 are in the red. NASDAQ 100, 15 names green, 85 in the red. And the NASDAQ is barely red. It did move 0.5% there, but that's what I was telling you. The big tech names holding you up have had a way bigger effect today. But yeah, you only have 15 names green on the NASDAQ. So Dow only has 5, NASDAQ only has 15, and now S&P, 50 names in the green, 450 in the red. So bonds going straight up since the data. SPY wicked a little bit. You're now down 0.5% pretty quickly, but man, everything is red. Like I was telling you, everything is, 90, 80% of all names are trading in the red from the morning. You do have Mag 7 leading here a little bit, but yeah, happy Monday and welcome. Welcome. Ooh, did you hear that? That was both sides, bro. Oh man. All right, I need to go pee though. I know it's been an early morning. I didn't go pee during the plays, bro. They're talking construction
favorite
spending.
Job openings, layover, turnover. Orders is coming out tomorrow
BRB.
as well.
Follow
The
me on
beige
Instagram,
book, which
at
is
the
always
Trends
important,
Journey.
has been
Real
pretty
Code
bearish
News on
lately. The Fed pays
Twitter.
attention to it, all the color from the different districts around the country. In honor, Carl, of the big jobs reports that we have, just wanted to do a status check on what's happening with the dual mandate. So the Fed cares about 2 things, right? Keeping inflation in check and maximizing jobs. So let's look ahead of jobs at what's been happening with job openings. We know the Fed has paid attention to this. Chair Powell has signaled it before. So we got this surge in job openings post-COVID, right after the big drop-off during the pandemic. It's been trending lower. And that is as the labor market has cooled off. I mean, nothing alarming, Carl. As you can see, we're still above levels that we were pre-pandemic, but it's trending lower. And that important job, that ratio that economists look at, including at the Fed, we've heard them talk about this before, job openings per unemployed, which gives a sense of the tightness of the labor market, it's come down. It's around 1, where it was like 2 when it was coming out of COVID. What does that tell you? That we're having this kind of slow easing of the labor market. We'll see if that confirms. This is the demand side, right? Whether companies are looking for openings to fill jobs. We'll get the supply side on Friday when we get the big jobs report to see how many people are unemployed and how many jobs actually were hired during the month. But it is something we know the Fed pays attention to, and it's signaling the kind of soft landing in the jobs market.
It used to be the number we would watch. It used to be the topic of pressers with the chairman, right? Talking about the JOLTS number, or the job opening ratio, yeah.
And then on the inflation side, remember the number that we watched that the Fed was talking about, which we haven't in a while? Supercore inflation. This is services inflation ex housing. It's a good picture of underlying demand inflation. What we saw in April, remember this came out on Friday, PCE, and it didn't get talked about a lot, was the first decline, a negative number in Supercore since the pandemic. And that represents a big shift and I think a lot of progress on the inflation front. So if you put this with some of the cooling measures in the labor market, it does point the Fed closer to rate cuts. And I don't think it's a surprise of why on Thursday and Friday, the Fed funds futures changed. And now they're pricing in 2 cuts this year instead of 1. Why? Because continued progress of inflation. Yes, we don't know the full effects of tariffs yet. But
all right, bonds are coming back down from the ISM. I think all of that was, again, it could have been a big event, but the data, it moved like 0.5, 1 point up or down. It's all within one standard deviation. That's the long story short. But good morning. Like I just told you, you have a majority of everything down. So it's either that everything keeps getting worse and you continue the downside and we get back to the lower 5800s just like we did last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember last week we would gap up and then just sell back to the lower range. So that's still in play. I mean, you do have a couple of gaps to fill from last week. But other than that, if it doesn't continue that way, there's a lot of room to go up if 400 names can turn green. So keep that in mind. Happy June, and where is the long term? I talked about it last night on the watch list. This next couple of months, whether we get an active summer, slow summer, who cares what happens? But everyone's, again, Michael Wilson over the weekend, the Bank of America, a lot of analysts, they want, there's a big breakout or big breakdown. Everybody wants a move, but I really hope that as the SPY is right now at break even, I really hope you think about what you want for your long term and wait. Yeah, stocks they don't do as well in June. Some names do good though. I think like Pepsi and some staples have very good Junes. But when it's all said and done though, I would have your list, keep saving, stick to a plan, because the next few months, whether it's fast or slow, you want these opportunities. If it creates a difference in price, this is going to be your time to hunt and really, really go in. So I'm excited, but we are going to need to be patient. Medtronic again, and then AMD. Remember Medtronic, Edwards, all of the medical devices last week, they did good. BH on the high, even Groupon. This summer will become 24/7. I still think it's going to be slow, because that 24/7 stuff, so far, all it does is create weird price movements. That's all I've seen from the TD and Robinhood. The prices will trade 24 hours, and then by the morning, cash open is just its own little thing. So it'll be interesting, but I do think, summer usually gets slow. That's going to be credit spread season, but I think with Trump this time, it's going to be a mix of slowness and choppiness. That's at least one idea. If not, it'll probably just be a shit show and going really fast, but that could be good. So either way, I'm excited, but I do have a long-term bias, clearly, and I'm thinking of it, and I hope you are too, and I hope these last couple months, in a weird way, the last couple months even show you're not too late. There has been some plays, and you saw the 40 to 30% pickups, but it's like, nah, everyone's at break even, the whole entire index. So we will see. I saw Ulta on the high ticker. Naka, I remember that one on Friday. Why can't I type? Yeah, Ulta just went up $10. Am I tripping? It was like $9 in like 6 minutes. Ford's going down more. Yeah, Ford and Tesla's even down. Tesla was leading, but Ford and GM are both down 4. I mean, there was news of more aluminum tariffs, so that could be it. UAL starting to pop right now. They just went $1.20 and now at the high. And then Cake, a couple of names. Oh, look at this pattern right here. Like Ulta, a couple of consumer names. Ulta, Airlines, and then Cake. They've all kind of have this 6-7 minute ramp hitting a high. SGov, if rates get a cut, I think you get less yield if it's one of those, if it's like Bill. Palantir dumping. I was going crazy in the morning. Yeah. Well, again, 450 names are red on the SPY. So there's literally just a small set of names that are green today. And T-Hall. Yeah, see, that one's even done it. Whatever. A lot of random ass name just got a little cash bid, like across the board. Very algo-y. Cake is going up because graduations. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear that, but I guess kind of makes sense. I'll answer your question, but I have to ban you because it's super easy. You could just go to youtube.com/the stock market, hit the post tab, and you could see my long term or my Twitter. So I do not own Palantir in the long term, but we bought it at $9. I actually told a lot of people about Palantir, some of their first experience, but then I sold it for a tax loss, and then it tripled up, and I never bought back in, and then it went up 1,300%. I've never heard that. I've never heard that cake theory with graduation. Kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know if it moved the stock unless it's like materially a trend. You had 2 cakes this weekend, one for your birthday, one for the confirmation. I saw the confirmation, baby. Hey, man, happy birthday, too. All the birthdays over the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay, UNH climbing a little bit. SPY even right below VWAP. Notice SPY tweaked out. Bonds did too, and then you unwound the bond move, and now SPY climbing up gently towards VWAP. There's Intel at the high, Habibi. Ulta is still going. Again, that's like $11 in a couple of minutes. I don't know what's happening. A lot of names did that, though. Be careful. It's not like some names, they just all had this little ramp. I don't think they are moving on any real reason except for like just straight liquidity. Ukrainian foreign ministry spokesman says greatest outcome of talks is on humanitarian front and agreement for exchanges. Iceberg negative comments TMC short report. That's the one that benefited from all those government contracts recently. The Apple and Google? No, I did not. The biggest news I got for big tech was the Meta AI thing, or the ad thing. I think it's huge, but I did not hear about that. I did hear something about like Google in Europe, and then I think there was something else on Apple, and then we had a talk on Netflix last night. I mean, Netflix. A lot of eyes are going to be on Netflix on the second half, both their release calendar and whether or not they're going to be having that outperformance or not. Tiger and Boeing. Let's see what the chat has. Yeah, a little bit. Boeing's chilling. Tiger, the small. Again, I feel like small caps the last couple of weeks. More likely to run up intraday, but also more likely to rug pull you. But yeah, they're there. Let's see. China. China's in the green barely. Like barely. STX on the high. Tesla's still low. So, yeah, even in the last, 20 minutes, a lot of names just barely went green there. So, that's good. I didn't like Netflix's releases last year. They got a good schedule planned for this year, but, yeah, we'll see. Even then, though, the year where they didn't have good releases, the stock still did good, but we'll see. Fortnite won and the other got in trouble for their conduct. It sounds like they'll have effects on Google. Yeah, I want that. We've heard it for a while, and it's either going to be big or small. And it relates to the trade stuff and the EU things and how they're going to be doing that. Last season of Squid Games? Is it? Oh, yeah. Didn't they release it? I forgot. They released it in 2 ones. They had a new season of Black Mirror. They had a lot of classics, but yeah, I actually forgot about that. Domino's on the low. Damn, Domino's down 3.8. Pizza. Well, that's good then. Because last time, again, Domino's and pizza, they've been moving together, believe it or not. Yeah, so now they're matched up. Would you look at that? Holy shit. Yo, okay, on the 2-year, we got a little bit more to go. We have a little bit more to go, bro. But, yeah, on the 1 year, though, we're matched up with Domino's now. This is amazing. Because that means they're either going to go together or pizza outperforms while Domino's gives us that market share. That's amazing. Look, bro, it's like TLT and the Spy, but now Pizza Hut and Domino's. So now, yeah, I like it a lot. Okay, a lot of things moving. GDX, PAAS, and then SPY right below VWAP. Again, low ticker has some activity still. We're not out of the clear. It's still moving slow. This is like half of the speed of what we were dealing with last week. CoreWeave, they're climbing back up again. CoreWeave was at 125 this morning. But then again, last time I did that, it sold off to 109 or something. The Tesla Robotaxi, didn't they? It's like something in June or June 13th. That's when they're trying to do it. I don't think he's going to be in the street. Or I think they'll have a couple out. But, because remember, like Waymo took a while. Like Waymo's been, I've heard Waymo for so long. And it's still not everywhere. It's only in select cities. But, yeah, it took a while. So I think even with Tesla, I think he's going to announce something. He might have a couple of them out in Austin. But even then, I still think it's going to take a long time. And then it's Elon that we're talking about. So we'll see. You took a Waymo? Was it your first time? TEM, bro. Big pop. Just at the high, but this thing's already up 9. I mean, usually it sells off. If that could keep going, that'll be great. But they had that short report last week as well, too. Fed Logan talking, risks are balanced. Market volatility is resilient. Woo! Labor market stable. Chewy on the high. Again, TEM and SPY right at VWAP. Yeah, Unity's coming back up. Premiums are the same price as Friday. They can match Waymo's fleet in a few hours of production. So Texas work gets ready. Slow ramp down. If they could, that'd be amazing. I would like to see. I'm just erring to the side of it'll take longer than shorter. But yeah, it's a good one. J Dot. Welcome, J Dot. When were the Magan presentations? Well, you just saw me ban the other guy for asking about a play. So I would stay away, sir. Don't ask me stuff that we went over that I'm expecting you to know. So that's not good. It's not good. But if you go watch when I made the play or that video, it has all the info. Please don't ask me. You got $250 from Elon for referring to Tesla? No way. NVEE on applied volume? Sure. Let's take a look. Again, they're the ones that did the deal with CoreWeave. They're already up 42%. How did RG? You really bought a membership to tell me about a biotech pump? That's crazy. I'm going to give you another shot, but that's terrible. Oh my goodness. Bro, what? Bro, this APLD volume is insane. So again, it could be wrong, but yeah, this is actually wild. They're going to fuck it up, though. So yeah, APLD, average volume is 38 million. It's already at 72 million. It's predicting 3,500 million in volume. Or 358 million in volume. That's crazy. So yeah, it's at 89 right now. So even more, but it's expecting to have 356 million. Yeah, that one's crazy. Good for them. Let me see if I get you guys this screenshot. Oh, why'd they scam me so hard? Good morning. Lemonade going? Yeah, that one from last week, people were pumping it. Again, there was a couple of headlines on it. They do a lot of... I think people just like the hype, but I like the volume. And then Unity, this is just like last week. Again, last 2 weeks, these small caps, they're the ones that are just attracting a lot. I think a lot of it's manipulation. U.S. factory slips further. But for the most part, that's where the activity has been. It is kind of insane. Lemonade. Vergetti. One of them offered shares, though, today. Yeah, Lemonade's going nuts. Actually, it's back to 30. Didn't this thing go to like 200, or am I tripping? Yeah, it did go 170. I remember that. And then it even went $14 to 60. It's like right in the middle. So be careful. If you get on the right side of momentum, you'll love it. But if not, yeah, you'll just be holding this for God knows how long. But yeah, not bad. INM cooled off. Yeah, that was crazy in the morning. NNOX, Marvel on the high. Yeah, Marvel starting to rip. Again, SPY got back up to open. ISM was pretty bad, but there it is. NYT on the high. Tesla. Nike, even Ethereum. I've not looked at Bitcoin. Mama. Yeah, Ethereum starting to move up right now. And then Zscaler. I haven't looked at Staples or Healthcare in a while. XLV's coming back up. Humana or UNH. Big tech. Apple's into the low, though. Meta's still holding. Broadcom's ripping right now. Yeah, Broadcom's up 2.8. Again, NVIDIA was up 3 or something. They're up 1 right now. Yeah, all the chips are doing good. But, yeah, big tech is kind of hit or miss. It's really like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, they're all like right on the cusp. Even Google now. Google is doing a lot better. Head of Russian delegation Medinsky, Russia and Ukraine exchanged memorandums with terms for peace settlement. Our memorandum contains steps to make a full ceasefire. Ukraine will study it. Pepsi. I'm waiting. See, this is what I meant by long term. Let's see by this next couple of months whether Pepsi or one of these names that we've been eyeing, how they actually like move. That will be good. NVO still holding. They did come down a little bit. Yeah, they hit that low and came back. Let me see that volume. I don't know if the dark pools show up. No, they do. Yeah, NVO is expected to have its biggest volume in the last 2 weeks. So, again, this could still be wrong. We noticed on Friday a couple of the predictions were off. So, be mindful of that. But, literally, yeah, NVO is expecting like 20 million in volume. Its last big day was like 16 million. Equal weight trying to come back. I forgot about that. Oh, let me get you guys the checkup again. It has been an hour or 30 minutes. Yeah, equal weight's only down by 0.6. SPY down by 0.3. But that was wild just off the morning. And look at the yen. I don't know what the bonds are going to do. They kind of look the same, but that is moving up. DraftKings and Flutter, there was Illinois, Chicago. And they had news about like taxing gambling. Like if you do a certain amount of like revenue in gambling, you get more taxed. RVYL, unhalted, $1 small cap running. You're happy you created your long term? I agree. Same, bro. Same. Long term is good. And I think these summer months, oh, it's going to be a joy. And God willing, opportunity. MOS 52-week high. And then Broadcom still going, whatever RVYL is, that's your small cap. I want to call it your small cap of the day, but you've probably seen like 5 or 10 of them so far. Let's see. Final report. No, they had earnings a couple of days ago, but I don't see any news. Or pre-funded asset sale. Expects buyer to close sale. Oh, so they announced selling assets a while ago. Russia proposed 2 to 3 day ceasefire on parts of front. Medinsky. Okay, more Marvel, more chips. Now Cisco, take notice. High ticker is gassing. Low ticker is starting to freeze. So, again, I see a lot of chips, even TEM, and a lot of small caps. Healthcare just went up, too. They're still red. If you could get staples to play along, that'll be nice. Watch if biotechs bounce, but they're one of the bigger leaders today. I haven't looked at financials. They're still down almost 1%. Yeah, healthcare is a leader. Communications, that's all meta. Or if you could get like an Apple or Google to go up, that'll be good. CDT now. Up 30%. This is a Pharma, but another small cap, low price stock that is moving. IBM. I saw IBM all day. Where's Dell? Dell was bad. Yeah, MOS, NTR. These guys have been hitting 52-week highs. First day of grad school today. Wow, congratulations. So you're still locked into the market too? Woo. DHI and Boeing. Oh, Boeing sell-off. Only 50 cents, but kind of abrupt. Yeah, a couple of things here. Core Weave. Oh, it's not at 140. You're just pumping it. Well, good morning, Zach. We're going to just take a lap around the block. Thank you. give us some actionable info. What's that? Live news? GL Dubs. VST, we've been watching that back and forth. Again, NTR and MOS, and then even then VST, like infrastructure, and then shipping, commodity, industrial plays. Those are all kind of moving. Some more, some less. BMY CEO. Bristol. Again, Bristol's the pharma company. Not like the Bristol that makes some of your home products. I like them, but I like Merck more. And then there is Pfizer. But Pfizer might not be one until 2026. Boeing is still going down again.
Dollars in investment.
Chris Borner.
In the U.S. Keep in mind, Bristol is a U.S.-based company by and large. Our infrastructure and our sales are mainly based in the U.S. So that gives you a bit of a sense of our exposure generally. You're absolutely right. These supply chains are global. They're very complicated. We source raw material from all over the globe. What we've been doing is engaging with the administration on a couple of fronts. First, we need to make sure they understand the complexity of the supply chain, so any tariffs that are implemented in a way that we don't see supply disruptions. That's priority number one. Make sure medicines continue to get to patients. And then the second thing is it will take time to move some of these supply chains. Just tech transfer alone in our industry can take over a year. So we've been engaging to make sure the administration understands those complexities, and we'll obviously have to wait and see how things play out.
And the other question that, that's top of mind right now in Washington is most favored nations, this idea that Americans pay too much for drug prices and we need to get the prices here closer to what other countries pay. And the administration basically gave you and your peers about 30 days to voluntarily lower prices. So A, are you doing that? And if not, what would happen if this most favored nations policy goes through? What would that mean to you?
Well, we're engaging with the administration very proactively and constructively. If you step back and look at what the president said when he announced the executive order, there's actually a lot in there that we agree with. We agree that countries outside the United States are not paying their fair share for the medicines, by and large, that are discovered and developed in the United States. We also agree that the U.S. system is too complex. The president himself called out the role of middlemen. When you look at the price of medicines in the U.S., 50 cents of every dollar spent on a branded medicine goes to a party that had no role in the discovery or development of that transformational medicine. We need to deal with that, and the president's focused on that. Obviously, we have to wait and see how most favored nation will play out. We're engaging constructively, and we think there are actually some opportunities for us to continue to bring prices down for Americans and what they pay for medicines, and we're going to engage with the administration to do that.
Great. Well, looking forward to hearing more on that. Chris, that's all we have time for. Sarah, I'll send it back over to you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Chris, for bringing us that interview from the ASCO conference. Time now for a news update. Let's get to Silvana Henao for that. Morning, Silvana.
Sarah, good morning to you. Well, the man suspected of attacking a group of protesters in Colorado is expected in court today to face a slew of charges. The FBI says Mohammed Sabri Solomon yelled "Free Palestine" and used a makeshift flamethrower to attack a group of people marching for the release of Israeli hostages at a busy pedestrian mall in Boulder. FBI Director Kash Patel called the incident a targeted terror attack. Turkish officials say a second round of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine ended after barely an hour in Istanbul today. Ukraine's defense minister says Russia handed over its ceasefire conditions, but that Kyiv believes key issues can only be resolved through a meeting of leaders. The negotiations came a day after Kyiv launched a massive drone attack on Russia's nuclear-capable strategic bombers. And Poland's Trump-backed conservative presidential candidate, Karol Nawrocki, narrowly won in a tightly contested election. According to results released...
She did say flamethrower. Dude, there was a lot. Again, the Ukraine stuff over the weekend. There was another thing. Israel did a move, and then you had that terror attack in Colorado. So, yeah, there was a lot of different things. Come back, Carbo Boy. I'm here. I do. We got water. We got Carbo. Trump G likely to speak this week. That's from the morning. So it could be a trial balloon. So you guys know when just how we seen it to the downside. So that we had that in the morning. That was like some of the optimism why we weren't lower given what's happened. But just watch out because later when they really announce it, it might it might hit harder. This is just the trial balloon for now. Yo, TEM still going, man. GG's if you got that one. That one sells off hard when it goes, but when it runs, it runs. That's a new. Well, even from, remember that sanction stuff. Remember Friday, we started getting weird rumors. And then, yeah, it's kind of still playing like that. Powell's going to speak at 1 p.m., but then it's going to be, it's not going to be about policy, unfortunately. So ISM was the big data, but Powell, he might come out. Again, there was a rumor last night that Powell is going to resign, but I doubt it. But then again, he could always announce it and then just chill. But other than that, he's going to be at 1, and then he's not expected to do anything else. You're going to do push-ups? Good. Do it. It's 7:30. We usually start at 8:30. I let y'all have the first hour, you know, because it's still bright and early. But I've been standing most of the day. I woke up very stiff. Like I told y'all, I woke up sore. I was working out over the weekend, man. If he resigns, I think the market would rip, believe it or not, because people wouldn't like it. At one point, I think the market was like, oh my God, we need Powell. But now, you know, look at the economy. Things are good. But then we have uncertainty. People want rates and other things. I think the market would rip because if Powell stepped down, that would probably insinuate you have sooner and more rate cuts rather than not. I don't know where the Powell rumor started from. No, I just think, in all honesty, I think it's somebody pumping the poly market. Because you know they do that, right? You guys know you could create your own poly market like crypto, and you could create your own betting pool, and then you pump the idea, and then if motherfuckers buy it at 15, 20 cents and you had it at 1 cent, you just made 1,500%. Did you know that? Yeah, that's what people do. So I think somebody just showed that poly market, created it, and pumped it. But because again, Powell's going to speak today, and it was supposed to be a short speech, and everybody knew that. Again, that's why I was like, that's funny. But yeah, then everybody came around. But yeah, especially low liquidity. Nobody's thinking of this idea. You create a crypto poly market, and then yeah, you sell the odds. But this is what I have been, beginning of the year. Some of you may not have liked it, but I've been trying to keep you safe, and I've been very straightforward with a lot of you. But like, what do you guys think goes on? Like, this happens a lot in a lot of different areas. So just be careful of what you're hearing and why. Look, SPY coming down now. So watch out. Again, whatever that little China G thing we knew, now you're doing the sell. Actually, I kind of want to buy it. Remember we did that? There was one of those plays where if you just buy a put on every one of the like smaller news pops, it just fades for the next 30 minutes. So we'll see, but I just think that's a little trial balloon because we heard about it in the AM. NBO back. Philip Morris going up, and AAP from last week, and ALL insurance. Yeah, AAP, BMGL. Yeah, NVO did good. Again, there's a lot of volume on NVO. Some healthcares, and then biotech, just a lot of drugs. I don't know if someone's going to make another purchase. That'd be interesting. If Pfizer buys somebody or NVO, but then again, we've already seen a lot of healthcare M&A. And then SPY is just dancing around here. Is Baba popping on that? Well, you just got CNBC reiterating what we heard last week. So again, we already knew about this, or what we heard this morning. But it is causing a small reaction. So see and remember, there is like an outsized effect on the market here. You do still have like 400 plus names in the red. Big tech has an outsized impact, and then we'll see what anything China or Asia could do. PGR's running too. Yeah, ALL, all the insurance plays. All insurance plays are moving. AAL still's on the high. Again, Altria and a couple staples, but staples are still generally weak. And then I believe CoreWeave is still kind of up. Again, NVIDIA is not down, but it's still 1%. Google and Apple, though, those are pretty mollywopped. Yeah, Google's down 1.7. Apple's down 0.07. But that could help if it could go. Upgraded Pumper Platinum Premium Plus. Oh, wow. We don't offer that one here. Some of them might have it. Yeah, energy again. The OPEC stuff caused it. Did it come down though? Yeah, like I don't know why. I think this just happens after a big move. But oil was up 4%, and literally since cash open, all we have done is sell off on oil. But it's still literally up 2.9 today. So keep that in mind. All right, you're starting to move up. China is leading, so good call, whoever called that. See if that goes or not on this. If the SPY goes up, see if the China names lead. Other than that, though, again, we've heard a lot. We've had data. We haven't heard from Powell yet. You're going to hear from other Fed speakers. You already heard from Logan. We're getting stuff, but market's kind of doing its thing. Not really reacting to any of it yet. So good morning. You missed the all-time high every weekday? Nah, I like everything, man. I got a long term. We're chilling. Some weeks it's all-time high. Some weeks it's not. Some weeks we get deals. Some weeks we're like, I should have bought the deal. I love it. I love it. But I understand, you guys. I feel like 6 months in. Tell me, be honest. Some of you guys are getting tired, huh? Some of you guys will admit this easily because you hate Donald Trump. But I'm definitely 6 months in, bro. I'm watching fatigue start to set in. As I see people getting tired, they're getting sick of it. Again, 6 months, S&P, no gains. Oh, dude, this isn't a fun environment. And you go back and forth, and then it's slow, and then it's fast, and then it's a rumor, and then they're lying, and then it's the truth. So, yeah, but I would tell you, take a step back, relax a little bit. You know, if you expect less, it's a lot easier to not get, tired out by all of it and just enjoy it. And that's what I'm saying. These next couple of months, if it gets more tiresome, oh, dude, you're going to want to be thinking about that long term. And then again, let everybody run, and you'll be rested, ready to go. It'll be a straight line when it's time to act. So that's all you got to do, man. I encourage you, go easy on yourself. Don't put yourself in a position to stress out from it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I will tell you, if you are getting tired, like, look around, mother effer. That's how you're going to win. You see what I'm saying? Like, everyone's getting tired. Exactly. So if you don't get tired, what's going to happen to you? Ta-da! So, yeah, it could work in your favor, but don't let it work against you. And that's why I think long-term plans are really going to prevail until we get, more of a clearer-cut break out or breakdown. And even then, the long-term still wins. PLD, the high ticker's moving, but again, that dynamic between big cap and small is wild. Just waiting for Trump to tell me to buy stocks again. Honestly, you could do that. I don't know if he's going to do it again, but yeah, that is also another strategy. It might work. So, when you put it that way. The most nerve-wracking time, 2018, hands down. 2015, I thought the world was going to end, but I made a lot of money. But it wasn't. It was a weird stress. It was like stress because I thought there was going to be the rapture, so it was different. But 2018, easily the most difficult financial year of mine, and I think a lot of people could relate because it was a lot like what we're going through now. But you didn't. But it was actually like real. Like it was a real liquidity crisis. It wasn't because the media told you to be scared of Trump, and then we had no background of Trump. You know what I'm saying? And like you guys know, I've held Meta for a really long time. Meta took a steep decline. I was down a shit ton of money. There was a lot of things going on, and it was like scary. That was a one time where I was like, whoa, what the? And it was during Trump. I was like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, other than that, I think the last 5 years has been challenging and difficult, but I think we've adjusted pretty well. And it hasn't been scary. Like 2018 was scary and difficult. I think we've had difficult environments and we've dealt through a lot of history, but sadly, the last 5 years has just been a lot of like bullshit from printing $4 trillion, $5 trillion or whatever. I don't even think it was like real. I don't know how to describe it. It's like that's why like 2018 was like the last real economic freakout. Every freakout afterwards was just like it's backed by trillions of new money and weird global developments. So yeah, 2018. CoreWeave, yeah, the premiums are up. Bonds are getting a red. I don't know if the market's gonna like that or not. So let's see. Estee Lauder, I'm gonna keep BABA up. You just got that little China trial balloon floated. We heard about it in the morning too. Let's see if it actually carries. Again, EL, some of the China-related names. Not bad. Yeah, high ticker, 30 second, 1 minute, getting activity. SPY's just holding. You're barely above the first opening candle. CoreWeave. What was that other one? APLD. That's the one with the big volume expected. CoreWeave still expecting bigger volume of the last 5 days. Because remember, the last 5 days it fucking sold off. Oh, Lion. That's the Steve Munchkin stock. That was on Friday. He took a stake. Okay, VNO. Again, 30 second, 1 minute velocity is doing well. Like I say, if you could get an Apple or Microsoft or Google move, that'll lift up the SPY. Everything else could move green, but it might not move the SPY. Yeah, you had Fed Logan. I don't know. That just came out. I thought that was older. Fed Logan, oil prices. There's a risk of lower production. No one cares about the Fed. BAH on the low. Yeah, oil popped at least. Again, yen and bonds are carrying along. Yeah, SPY's down a quarter. Ecoid's down by 0.5. So you still have more names down. Let's see. We are 748. It's been about 45 minutes. You only have 9 names green on the Dow. So 5 more names went green on the Dow. 35 names green on the NASDAQ. So 20 names went red to green on the NASDAQ in the last 30 minutes. And then SPY 118 in the green, 330 in the red. But yeah, that's better. It got better in 40 minutes, but generally, you know the vibe. Yeah, Disney on the low. They were doing good in the morning. BAH again. So again, they had government contracting stuff last week, but yeah, they are selling off. BAH. Who's the other one? TEM. And then Chewy. That one's moved up. NVO breaking out. Again, a lot of big volume on there. It hasn't been at 72 in months, dude. Right? Yeah, last time you were at 72 was in March before the freakout. We like it. Who's the other one? There's one more medical company. Oh, Unity. They're not medical, but it's one of those hype plays. And then Dominion all day. And then utilities on the high as well. Again, SPY just holding. You get a Microsoft, Apple will be good. Again, BAH, Booz Allen, Consulting on the low right now. Like actually hitting a new low. Oh, our NVO starting to move a little bit. Same with Boeing, too. Where is Bobo? Roblox 88. That's killing it. Pepsi ex-dividend. Yes, that is soon. So I hope we get a good deal leading into it, but I think I might have to wait the quarter. I usually spend the cash once I get this high. So again, last time we had $9,000 cash in the long term. Pizza. We bought pizza and NVO. But that's it. I saved up from the beginning of the year, and then it was too cheap for me not to buy. But yeah, I said it. My fingers itch. Even last week, bro, I thought I was gonna buy for the long term, but then I was like, nah, I gotta wait. Everything's right there. There's like good deals out there, but they're right on the cusp of just like they could really be a good deal, or no, you still just bought too high. And then again, based on our strategy, the lead, everything we have, low cash. I only have 4%. We don't need to force it. Volume check on Ellie, like Eli Lilly or ELLY. I don't know what ELLY is. So if it's too small of a name or it's not like really traded, I can't get data. I'm assuming you mean Eli Lilly because there's no Ellie. Like Eli Lilly, that's a big name. I could get that. Yeah, it's actually below average. More volume is coming into NV. NVO is going to have its biggest volume in 2 weeks. Eli Lilly is below average volume today. Yeah, Megan. That one's a liquid as fuck. Again, we bought that one last week. We made a play. Go watch the watch list or go watch the stream. Don't ask me about it. But it is, that's related to materials. But yeah, Eli Lilly is not going to have a big day volume-wise, but NVO will. Lemonade's still going. You guys saw that again. BNTX, there was all those vaccine headlines from the morning. UNH, let's check. UNH below average. It's already trading below average right now by this time in the day. Remember, that's what we saw last week. It was so weird. It felt we would have those big day-to-days. Everybody felt like a lot was going on, and then a lot of names would just be dead. So, yeah, some of the, like UNH, after that, like, hype 2 weeks ago and all the big volume, it's really fell off. But, yeah, they're not expecting a lot. Powell, POWL on the high. Again, Powell comes out at 1, but he's not going to talk policy. NEE, a couple of energy plays going up. Yeah, high ticker is starting to really gas. 30-second, 1 minute, even 5 minute. That's actually fascinating. Because notice, look at the high ticker here. It looks very strong, but we're not moving. Like I'm telling you, you need Google. Google's down by 174. Apple's going up barely, but then Microsoft's still red. So the big tech has way more pull on the index today. Because there is a lot of names they're advancing, but they're still red. But yeah, it's not really having that impact. Yeah, well, some of them get volume throughout. Like NVO, volume has been throughout the day, but most of them have been cash open and die, and that's it. VOD, BTI, and then MO, and even Philip Morris. Those have been up all day. Dominion, that goes up, and then Chewy. Tesla to 331. Where's Tessie? Yeah, well, not bad, but they've just moved up a lot from the low, but they have a lot of catalyst from Elon leaving to all of the, what's it called? The cyber cabs. Crocs, short-term call activity. Or Crockeroony. Well, let me check their volume. Crocs is expected to have double the average volume. So, yeah, it doesn't look like it, but this thing is trading. Yeah, it's trading above average volume today and is going to. eBay, Philip Morris, BTI, Restoration on the low. Yeah, eBay has been up 1 too. So I said there's been some names that are just chilling today. But again, most of them have started off slightly red. Did you see Walls speaking, clapping? I did not. No exaggeration, the last time I heard from Tim Walz, he was clowning on Tesla stock. And then since then, it's up like 50%. But no, I haven't followed up with that goofball. Was that what he calls himself? The goofball? He's just a goofball. SPY hit a new high, but people have been talking about that even last week. But last week you had futures hitting a new high, equities didn't. It's weird, bro. It's been a very weird market, and that's why I think people are getting very impatient. And again, the banks on Wall Street now, people are starting to call breakout or breakdown. I think we might get disappointed, and then it goes really slow. But long story short, I do think some people are getting tired. Oh, Knucklehead, that's his name. Not a goofball. Yeah, Knucklehead. That's our Knucklehead. When you say fully gassing, like you see these bars, so that's like the max is when it hits here. That's like full velocity. So look, 30-second, you almost have it maxed out. So that means there's a bunch of stocks hitting new highs all at the same time in the last 30 seconds. Then the middle line is the 1 minute, and then the top line is the 5 minute. Bad. Baba TM takeover bid? No. How? In to announce acceptance of 42 billion takeover and other. How? Is it moving? It's up 20. That doesn't make. Dude, Toyota's massive. Who the fuck is going to buy Toyota? Yeah, Toyota to announce acceptance of 42 million bid by Toyota. Toyota buying Toyota? Yeah, it's weird. Yo, Guild on the low. Whoa. Check if there's any bad FDA news. And then UNH investors lawsuit. It's not big. But yeah, watch out for Guild, bro. Guild 110 to 108 in like 10 minutes. But now it's doing the death flush at the low. Yeah, Toyota is selling. It's like one industry to the next. There's multiple Toyotas. I think it's a dud, and it's not like a real sell-off. And then watch Guild right now. Let's see. I'll get you more details on both of those. I'm gonna check Guild if there's anything breaking, and then we'll go to the Toyota. No, but I don't. There's a combined drug release with Merck. You're not pumping Magan? No one's. I'm not getting mad at that. Like I said, just please don't ask me for the play. And if you want the information, it was on the video. Otherwise, I don't know how people even know about that one. Because I didn't even mention that one unless you were live. So it's odd that people are asking me about it because it doesn't make any sense. You should know all of it if you know I played it. So please refrain because you did ask me about it this morning too. Your chat facts did not lie. You said, what is the play for Magan? So please go watch the watch list. But in that case, okay, Guild. Ah! Oh, Guild, we should have taken that. I don't have any news. But yeah, Guild just took another $4. Bro, that's crazy. That candle right there, that was the money. If you were positioned on there, you would have killed it. They all just doubled. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see. I have some cheap ones, but nah. Yeah, 400% on that Guild, bro. If you took it, bro, it's right in front of you. I didn't take it. I was looking at the news. I was just telling you. I'm like, I can't see anything. I haven't even gone to the Toyota one yet. But yeah, Guild. Damn. Yeah, we just had it on screen. I just saw it moving, but I didn't. I was confirming the news to see what it was, and then it just took another $2-3. Yeah, bro, there's a lot. Some of you got them. I see it. Some of you snagged like 12-cent ones. Those are fire, bro. Good work. Good work. Spreads are wild now. That's it. If you, like I said, I'm not chasing it, but if you were in there while I was searching for it and while we had it on screen, that's if you just took a small one, those hit. Yeah, it's still going down. I don't know. If Apple pops, watch the SPY to lead. That Toyota stuff's weird, though, so let me get to that one. Continues to propose global standard for automotive chiplets. Yeah, no, the Toyota, I think the Toyota one's a dud, to be honest. Apple's really going, though. Thanks for the Guild call out. Hey, man, I hope you got it, baby. That was nice. That one, but again, I hope you guys learn, too, because that's not the one that you chase. I hope you guys see it. We had it up there. We're looking, and then it flushes. You don't chase it after that. That's the candle that makes you money, but you don't chase that one unless you really know there's more info, but now it's already down 3. So not bad. Etsy on the high. Again, Apple, Guild. Guild is at a conference. Is that what it is? CEO mentioned he want to go to Toyota's roots and go private. I don't see that one yet. I think they're like trying to do some spin-off shit, but like I'm saying, that situation's murky. I don't think it is what it sounds like. So just AKA, Toyota's a $300 billion company. They're not getting bought out anytime soon. So he might be saying something, but whatever it is, I don't think it's actionable yet. Who is it? I want to see the Guild presentation if I could get that. Okay, Nokia on the high and a couple of look at the high ticker is still going. That Apple lift you up a little bit. Anything to read into the silver surge? No, just metals probably and materials. Like, that's kind of how I look at it. I know a lot of people have brought it up, but I know this might hurt some of you guys, but I do not care about silver right now. I do care about gold, and then the only ratio with gold that I care about is gold to TLT, gold to interest rates. That is the gold to real interest rates right now. Phenomenal. Oh, man. So, like, I'm telling you, if you guys are investing in bullion, that's what you should care about right now. Gold versus the interest and interest rates. It's insane. You've never seen anything like it. RH, that might be next, bro. They're already down. Wait, I swear I just saw them on the high. No, that was on the low. But, yeah, RH dumping. Those have wide spreads, but, oh, those hit if you're on the right direction. Yeah, SPY just got a candle. Not anything crazy, but probably either big tech or the smaller names taking a dump as the money floats now back to big tech and back 7. That Guild is still up. Yeah, look. So Apple went down, but see, Guild is kind of all over. Yeah, Toyota Industries is a subsidy. That's what I'm saying. It's not like, it's not going to sound it's not what you think it is. Where is it? Event calendar. Today's June 2nd. What? This makes no sense. Yo, so Guild, they present at Jefferies Healthcare Conference on the 4th, and then Global Goldman Healthcare Conference is on June 10th. Today is a strategy update call. They had a strategy update call at 2 a.m. 5 a.m. Eastern. What? Yeah, Guild is still, the Guild puts are going higher, even though the stock got a green candle. So yeah, I don't know if there's another one or the company just gave their own little guidance call this morning, but super early. That's why I'm like fascinating. Yeah, 2 a.m. my time, so 5 a.m. Eastern. And then they have, again, in 2 days, Jeffries conference, and then gold. I didn't know there was a Goldman Health conference. I was only looking for the commodities conference. But yeah, Palantir on the low. Whoa, Tesla now, too. And then SPY ripping. Yo, you got Tesla, big flush. And then SPY's just tweaking right now. SPY doesn't know to go up or down, but you're getting something. It looks like something's coming out. You don't see any headline yet. Dana here, DHR, Nike, MTSR. There's a lot. I don't know what the hell is going on with Tesla. Palantir too. Nothing's moved yet. I don't have a headline. But yeah, that just tweaked everything. Those candles, I do believe, were real. Yeah, it flipped you down and then up. And now you're back to 5,900. Hi. And an APLD break 10. Again, that one is expecting like 300 something in volume. ACAM on the high now. Again, ACAM's kind of related to some of that infrastructure stuff. Yeah. ACAM getting volume. I haven't seen where they've been at. Oh, that could be a good one. Keep eyes on ACAM. Guild is getting a shit ton of... You guys are FOMOing Guild. It's either you or the algos, but all of the Guild puts just skyrocketed on... I think they were sells, dude. Yeah, somebody sold 400 Guild options at the low. They're hustling. And then BMGL, that was up, and now it's dying. They're probably offering shares, just resumed. But yeah, be careful on Guild, though. They're just dumping premium now as the stock is going up. Because I was like, dude, where did all that volume come from? Donald Trump and Xi Jinping likely to... That keeps getting pumped. Again, we heard that from the AM, but that's coming out now. That's the second time you've heard it in the last hour. Because they hit it here, too. No Zen music. I'm waiting. I'm going to pull out the Zen music when we need it. So nobody's been... you guys started off good this week. You know, last week, y'all were on one on Monday. Y'all like, yo, let's ask the same question 100 times. Hey, yo, let's ask all the easy shit and then ignore all the shit that matters, Josh. So then I had to throw a delay on. I had to ban some people. So, but nah, y'all good for now. But if we need it, I have it all. I have break glass scenario. We have Zen music ready to go. I like Lulu. I don't like their price, but, you know, fundamental value metrics, it's pretty much valued almost equivalently to Nike. So at that point, it's just which one do you like more? Nikes. Yeah, Tesla's still going down. If you got a headline on that, I'd watch ACAM. Again, a lot of these like industrial plays have been doing very good, and I like how they're moving, and they have a 25% gap between their last gap fill. Yum on the high. Domino's down. Again, the big news today is pizza and Domino's on the 1 year are starting to inverse. Guild has FDA approval June 19th, and Congress bought it. We'll see. They have some strategy conference today that the company put out, and then in the next 2 weeks, they're going to be at 2 different events. But good info. Guild. I don't know what Tesla is. Again, Ford and GM were down, though. Well, that's what we were talking on Friday. Remember the aluminum stuff. Then Nike's on the high. SPY coming down, though. So whatever these little back and forth pops and drops are, I mean, you're chilling. Tesla. Taylor. Are you the Benzinga Taylor from like 3 years ago? The name looks so familiar. But yeah, Tesla, I have no idea. All I know is that this little box is not moving normal. And again, just like we've seen with the market, We're not getting that follow through, but Tesla went from bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news to bouncing 100-something% and then just chilling. But now, like, even with the good news, it's not reacting the same way. So I think price action is going to be very odd. Benzira. We need to read that again, actually. Robo-taxi month. Well, I want to see when Tesla comes out with it. But yeah, no idea what's happening here. Elon, doesn't matter if Elon leaves, announces, ever since it's gotten past what? Ever since like 315, it's been in it's started to move a little different. But then again, that's a very high valuation once again for Tesla. And then Nike all day today. Long-term BB, long-term looking fat. It is indeed. Get a long-term and get a crib. VST on the high. And Netflix. And Ryanair. A lot of things, man. I'm actually surprised. Look at, again, the high ticker has a lot of activity. And for the last hour or so, 20 minutes shy, we've been at the same exact price. That was a little China trial bubble that we got. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So it's moving a lot slower than last week, even volume-wise. But it's all big tech, dude. If you want this SPY to move, otherwise go play your individual names and they might hook you up. But if you're trying to play the SPY, you need big tech to actually move. NVO. Big, beautiful, long term. That's it. I'll tell you. Turn it to a house. It's a good idea. Good morning. All right. Yo, real estate stocks, bro. Yo, MPW and O and then the whole ETF. Why are they starting to come up? I don't know if SPY and bonds. Yeah, no, yen's coming down. Interesting. And then TMC, I think they had a short report in the morning. But they're coming down. But yeah, watch real estate names. MPW and O. That's hella random. It doesn't make any sense. And now they're moving. Meta. And then Roblo. Again, watch if you could get Apple, Google, Microsoft. Those are the ones really. Google especially. Microsoft's in the green. Apple just went green on this. And then it flipped down a little bit. But yeah, if those go, you'll be good. But yeah, like I just said, real estate. I just saw like 3 or 4 of them move. And then even the ETF, real estate's doing better than financials and staples today. That's weird. Again, bonds have been destroyed. Yeah, Netflix. That one started going crazy. That one's been great. Again, Google is the one lagging the most. Even Amazon a little too. That's what I was saying. If you get those moving, SPY will move. Other than that, if those don't move, nothing's going to happen, even with Meta. Okay, Austin, you're starting to get weird. So I love the long term, and I'm glad you're hyped. But if you don't post anything else, I'm banning you. So take a lap, and thank you for playing. BMGL, that one's still dying. Netflix, 52-week high, all-time high, every high. Where's NVIDIA? That's the other one too. NVIDIA just hasn't moved. It's staying 1%. I don't think those are real wicks. I just put up NVIDIA. I don't see anything. The ones on this SPY, all of these are real. We haven't gotten any other weirder ones, but yeah, it's there. Richest man in Babylon, strangest secret in the world. That's another one in Proverbs, New Living Translation. HAE. Booz Allen's still there. Where's Gil? Is that pizza? Uh-oh. Pizza. All right, pizza's back to green. I'm telling you guys, This is the best news I could offer you. Pizza and Domino's are now flip-flopping. I don't think you realize this could be a whole new world. Look at that. This is amazing. But yeah, so look, Domino's is down 3 today, and then pizza has just gone green. That's after holding that rally. And then Root, that's the other one related to lemonade. And then SPY has not broken out, you guys. So as you're getting all of this stuff happening, bro, it's not like, dude, think about it. There's a lot of activity. Look at the high ticker. The SPY is same price as last hour. Might even come down right now. And then again, bonds are going with the yen. Meanwhile, though, real estate stocks are going up, which is interesting. A whole new pizza filled with shakaroni and more. No one to tell us no, or it's shitty dough. Now I'm in a whole new world with pizza. Or means family. Okay. There's a lot going on. But bonds are about to hit a new low for the 4th time today. Then NVO. Not bad. Not bad at all. K-Web. China. Look at that. We'll get on the call. We'll call them. We'll talk. Maybe instant message. Yeah, Boeing hasn't moved. Where's 2 Boeings? 2 Boeings has moved. 1 Boeing hasn't moved. And then the whole index is up. I said watch this earlier. I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, that's kind of good. K-Web and the Asian plays have continued all throughout the morning. How do you escape working 40 hours a week? Save money. You save money and focus on increasing your income, and then you get into ownership of assets. That's actually the only way you do it. This is why you don't remember me saying get a long term, because your capital will outpace your labor. That's what you got to do. That is all you got to do. Shakaroni means family. You pay Josh 5. I don't like your name. Now you have to pay me another 5. Show some respect. Thank you. I don't take it offensively. I'm just saying I don't tolerate you. There's a big difference between genuine affection and people who throw shade. So if you throw a little shade, I don't fuck with you at all. I'm not mad at you. I'll forgive you, but I don't fuck with you. So now you should make your name I pay Josh nothing. Make your name normal, be normal, but now you do have to pay to try again. I know. Pizza. It's going up. I know Fire. Yeah, I've talked about Fire from 2018. Believe it or not. But yeah, those are it. And I've always told you guys, your capital will outpace labor. So if you are working 40 hours a week, nothing wrong with that. It's actually a good thing that you're working and working a lot. But now what do you do with the money? Stop gambling. Stop wasting your money on things you don't need. And start taking that savings and applying it to stocks and real estate. That is exactly why I'm telling you guys our long terms are going to turn into real estate, because that's part of this plan. Again, stocks and real estate can make you more money than you'll ever work in a year. That's the whole point. And that's how you escape the work week. That's how you grow. It's going to be by owning things that can make you money while you are sleeping. And while you're working or not working, you own other things that will be able to work for you. CSGS. Decent pop. 1.5 off of 1 candle. If that gets, again, you take another $1, that'll trigger some of the momentum stuff. Frog, MUJHX. Well, even if you own your own business, this is the hack, you guys. The fact of the matter, assets will always outpace labor. Everybody knows this. I learned this very young, and the moment I realized this, it turned me from the farmer to the banker. That's it. That's the richest man in Babylon. Once you understand this, your whole life changes. No matter what, whether you are a business owner or an employee, you must realize that good quality assets will always outperform labor. So that's why it is our job to make sure that we buy good quality assets. That's why I've been telling you this every single day. Literally, no exaggeration. I've told you this every single day for 5 years. That's why I'm saying we need to focus on it. That's stop gambling, stop being dumb right now. Look at the opportunity, look at value, look at staples, look at some of the cheapest names you've ever seen. This is how we're going to do it. It may not seem like we're doing something now, but in the long run, day after day, year after year, we own quality assets. They are going to, no matter what your income is, those quality assets are going to start working. And that is the general idea. And I don't care if you're a business owner, because you take your profits from your business and you do that. Again, real estate, that's why I'm saying, well, don't tell me whatever you think about real estate. That's part of this game of growing assets that can outpace labor. So, yeah, and it starts with that quality. So it takes time. It's not going to be, a lot of people want to get out of the rat race or working. They want it to happen quickly. No. Every day, though, you plan for it and you save. Within a couple of years, that's how we can, start paving a whole new path, and then it'll be a lot more comfortable, and your assets will be growing for you and working for you while you're working or choosing to do whatever you want. That's why be an owner. Doesn't this all sound familiar? Saying you got to own something. I tell you, don't look at the stock. Don't learn about the stock market. Know all of this stuff and not become an owner. That's crazy. But that's what happens with our generation. The new generations too. We have so much information that it's not that we don't know things, but we have we have trouble prioritizing. Like I'm saying, a lot of people know about puts, but they don't know about other stuff. Again, people know about the stock market. They know stocks. They know industries. They know everything going on, but they don't know about owning, and they're not owning. That is unacceptable. And you guys have to make sure that you own from the moment you know this game. UNH executive speaking now? Oh, is it at a conference or is it? Where is it? Let me see. Und. Yeah, general meeting, 8 a.m. Yes, sir. Should we listen? I think we should. I got to register. Oh, control number? What? Oh, no, I'm going to do it as guest. First name, Luigi. Last name, Mario. Email, legitclaimdenied@gmail.com. Enter company name, Mario Bros. Inc. Individual, institution, I'm going to do other. Yeah, no, this is my login play. Yeah, see, Luigi, Mario, legitclaimdenied@gmail.com, Mario Bros. Inc., other. Let's join. I'm glad to be a part of this. You think they'll answer me for a question?
For UNH directors. We don't have a hard policy in terms of retirement, but we do have guidelines. And those guidelines take us to about the age of 75. And we have been managing within those guidelines.
Thank you, Steve. The third question is, how long will it take the company to get back to normal margins on the MA business? Could this be fixed in 12 to 18 months?
I would say that is a question around financial matters, and we have suspended guidance and are endeavoring not to respond to questions that are basically oriented around that until we reestablish guidance on July 29th.
Okay, so
I
July
would say
29th,
that,
they'll come
as
back
I
with
said in my
guidance, but he's
prepared
not going to
remarks,
answer anything.
that we have
This is what I was trying to tell y'all,
taken
though. They
strong
want to know
action
12 to 18
reflect,
months. All you guys who wanted to buy
everything
UNH,
that we are seeing
this is what we were
and
talking
what we
about.
are
Like,
projecting into
your
our
risk
pricing
isn't
for
that
CMS,
the risk is that the
which is
company
being
goes to
delivered
zero
this
if it's
week.
like truly fraud.
And
But the other risk
assure
is that
you
it
that
takes
we
you
are
forever
focusing
and you go
on
nowhere for
margin and,
years or months.
from that point of view.
So yeah, but at
Thank
least they'll
you.
give back guidance in
Thank you,
July.
Steve.
But
And the last question is,
clearly
can you
there's
provide
still
an
questions
update
about 12
of your
to 18
knowledge
months.
regarding government investigations?
TLT is nuking, yeah.
Yes, I think, Chris, that you should really respond to that.
Yeah, this is the question on the government investigation.
Sure. We will not typically discuss or comment or speculate on open government investigations. I can tell you that
Spies
matters
coming
that
down.
are
You guys
material
said
to
Apple
the
flipped,
company
yep.
will show up in
Good
our
call.
SEC
Then look at the
filings.
Spy. And Microsoft read too.
At this point, we've
Google
disclosed
still
what we
mollywop.
are
Same with
required to
Amazon.
do.
Amazon went back green though.
So with that,
Bonds are
I
getting
understand
murdered. Watch the
we have
end, though.
no
I think it's
further
the end,
questions
to be
from the
honest.
shareholders. Thank you for joining us
No,
today.
now bonds are going more. That's it.
The meeting has now concluded.
What?
Thank you for joining, and have a pleasant day.
That's it. All right. Well, no, that was very now the stock's ripping. That was very uneventful, but yeah, they just said they don't comment on anything. They're not worried. They're not going to give you anything on guidance. Best case, you wait a month, end of July, then they'll start coming back with guidance. But yeah, UNH, GDP, Atlanta 4.6. Previous was 3.6. That's crazy. Then TEM again. All right, yeah, now UNH going down. But I still, again, UNH, like I told you guys, just pound for pound, it's one of the cheapest valuations for any healthcare company. Again, any company with that many employees, that much revenue, EPS, it's the cheapest. But obviously, they're going through stuff. And then, again, the timeline, that's what you got to really think about. ChatGPT surpasses 366 billion searches in 2024. Trump talking. Unch. Donald Trump. I don't see him. No, I don't see Trump yet. The thoughts on the dollar. I think the dollar is going to, depending on where it settles, it's going to change everything, but I would not, I'm not as worried as some people. Like, again, some people think their dollar is going to fail. Again, people on Bank of America or Morgan Stanley, they think the dollar is going to get totally clobbered this year. But at the end of the day, I still think as long as there's no major shift in in global relations, like a crazy one, pretty much unless there's World War III, and even then that'll help out the dollar. I'm not really worried about its demise. I think it will always be relative. So, but either way, the general consensus so far this year, though, is that the dollar will weaken. Beginning of the year, it was a stronger dollar, but then that all changed with the policy shifts. But that's my take mixed in with what Wall Street thinks. Yeah, you're right above VWAP. This is all Mag 7. There's a lot of moving around again last week. The last couple weeks it's been weird between staples and whatnot. So we'll see. Silver, gold. I don't care about silver ratio. I think silver's been going crazy and everybody keeps asking, but I'm just not the guy who really cares about silver. It's funny because I own a fuck ton of silver, but physical silver, but I'm not I think gold to interest rates, that is truly the main ratio. Yeah, Europe. Oh shit, it is Euro close. And it also is push-up time. Woohoo! Yeah. Where was it? Yeah, this is a new high for silver. Stupid, bro. Yeah, silver's at $35, $34.35, but it hasn't hit 35 yet. there's been, well, that's why everyone's talking about silver. Do you know how many motherfuckers have been buying silver like a penny stock? Silver is like the penny stock for gold. Does that make sense? Because everybody, when you think about it, gold would be crazy. Gold would be thousands of dollars an ounce. They'll be like, I could buy silver. Where is it? Where's my 2 ounces of silver? Oh, there it is. There's my 2 ounces of silver. Look at that. This shit keep going up in value, bro. Silver is the penny stock of gold. Josh Answers 2025. It's a good quote. But it is. That's why, that's why you're hearing about it. It's breaking out. It's about to get, again, it's been years, bro, since you've ever got, last time you were at $35 was literally the fucking market was crashing. 09. Again, and that's when gold did its first real surge, if you guys recall. Some of you do. But long story short, just silver gets exciting here. A lot of people bought a lot of fucking silver because it's easier to buy if you're into bullion, and you could buy way, way more. But at the end of the day, that's why you're hearing about it. But in all honesty, gold is the leader on the year. Gold is going crazy, and all that matters is why are people buying gold and bullion and then bonds? Like, look around you guys. Like, do you not see what the world is saying? In the last 6 months, even before Donald Trump, the world is highlighting something. Like I told you, everyone keeps asking me about when do I buy gold, but I'm like, dude, gold is gambling on the price of money right now. Gold is trying to figure out the price of the world right now, and you want to gamble on that. Like, look at what commodities and bullion and gold especially are saying, even Bitcoin. People are not trusting stuff. And it's not just because of us. It's like, it's not even risk off. They just don't trust. Everybody is going towards hard assets. Have you not realized it? So think of right now, there's a group and there's a generation of young guys who don't give a fuck about it, but look at where all of the money is. Everybody is buying hard assets. Do you guys not realize this? In the last year, not just 6 months, look in the last year. Every hard asset is up. Gold, silver, real estate. Think of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's digital, but it's just anything that's an asset, and you're like, no, I want this specifically. I get separate possession, and it's not related to the dollar. They want real assets. That's why Bitcoin's kind of weird how it plays into there, but you could kind of argue it's there. Again, they want stuff that is different and not derived from the dollar the same way. So, yeah, I wouldn't even call it safe havens because look at everything's ripping, right? Everything's doing good, but there is they're prioritizing real assets and for some odd reason, and it just with the direction of things going with spending and governments and trade and all of that. No news on bonds today. No, they were actually doing good earlier and then flip. Are gold revalued? No. We don't revalue gold. You see what I'm saying? So right now, gold is just determined by the market price. Back in the day, we used to revalue gold because we had an exchange rate with gold. We used to say $25 would get you 1 ounce, $32 would get you 1 ounce, right? So we valued 1 ounce at $32. But now we don't value the price of gold based on the dollar. So our values of gold and what we hold is dependent upon the market price of gold. So we don't do any revaluing because we have zero connection towards the value of gold except for supply demand. Well, it's not like inherent, but people want real assets. That's just they have more faith in stuff that is not paper or not a stock. That's why Bitcoin is so unique, because it's kind of paper. But then again, you get your little unique piece of the blockchain with only 22 million supply or whatever. So it just did UNH flushed. So that's kind of the oddity about that. But generally, it's people don't really care about the value. They just want the hard asset, because if you're not trusting other things, you may not know how to value the hard asset, but at least you have something, right? What happens if your paper dollars change overnight drastically in value? You have nothing, right? But if you have a house, you could live in it. You have gold, you could throw it at someone. If you have food, you could eat it. You know, bullets, you could defend yourself, right? It's a silver, you could build a conductor. But there's all these different things, but people are just valuing a real commodity or something different than a U.S. dollar or a U.S. stock. And even foreign stock. This goes well beyond the U.S. Oil, you could power an engine. Yeah, they said that's why they're stopping the penny production. So I think in 2026, there will be no more pennies. Root still, all these little insurance plays are going ham. They're both up 7 to 8. Root lagged and then caught up. And then bonds at the low. INVX 1490 to 1503, small pop, but a lot of things chilled out here. It's one of the only things on the high ticker. And again, NASDAQ down by 0.03, about to go green. You need your big tech. SPY down 0.28, Equal 8 still merked. Dow is struggling today, 0.6, and then Russell down by 0.19, 0.19. So not bad. Unch. Yeah, unch flipped. Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, your favorite names. I'd watch those. Yeah, Meta, NVO still doing great. VST all day, and then, yeah, like I said, UNH, bro. I don't know, maybe people realize you're not going to get shit for another month, if that. And then again, they didn't give you any color on any 16, 18 months out, even M&A activity. Electricity is going to be the future. Well, it is. It just sucks that commodities don't really make you money. That's just the problem. That's all. Like, that's why, like, if there's, like, new tech and energy, it could be big, but they're very few and far between. But commodities, energy, you need to put in a lot of money to make a lot of money. Otherwise, they're not really, like, growth drivers. That's why people buy them as, like, safety and stability. Or if you have a lot of money and want to just have stability and generate income, that's where you go to energy, commodities, stuff like that. But that's why I've stayed away from it most. It's not like I'm against it. It's very, very useful, but it's not really going to be the stuff, you know, you buy today in 20 years. You're like, wow, you know, maybe some of these nuclear names, if it really goes there, but eventually they're all going to kind of level out and you benefit off the cash flow. That's the beauty. Energy, utilities, they cash flow all day. You need energy every day, right? So what's the business? The business is money every single day. That's different than somebody who can double, triple, quadruple their size and scale. That's just a different type of company. Yeah, exactly. Play Monopoly. No, who cares? If you own all the utilities, you don't make a lot. Exactly. It's cash flow. Even in the game of Monopoly, cash flow. APLD ripping. Hey, Habibi. Habibi. Roma. Okay, watch UNH if that breaks 300. Yeah, APLD. The premiums are lagging a little bit, though, but just the spreads. Yeah, it's literally just the spreads there, though. Not bad. Oh, Magan, that one's starting to go up now too. NRG, literally the ticker, and then ADT, is that MU? There's a lot of small caps on the high right now. My goodness. All right, we'll see. Where do demographics fall? Like for utilities and energy, I don't care about demographics for that. Like, because it all works the same. Everybody, like I said, everybody uses energy. Everybody needs energy. Unless it is a new energy technology, those businesses revolve around cash flow and cash. It's not growth business. Cigna on the low, so now they're all going. Nvidia's starting to curl up a little bit. That could be good, but again, you'll need Apple and the other ones. Yeah, Nvidia, bro. And then Micron. Again, Micron had headlines last week, too. No, NBO. Oh, for real estate? I like American real estate. That's it. Unfortunately, I've had very minimal experience outside of the U.S. I've done a couple of stuff. Yo, pizza! Oh, no, bro. What is this candle? Give me a rumor. Come on. Pizza. How come, wait, where are my fucking pizza options? Yeah, the pizza options aren't going up as much. They're still holding that 100% on the bid, but it's climbing. I don't have any. What is this? Papa John's introduces cheddar crust pizza. New take on classic favorite. Pizza. That's the only thing I got. Oh, and then they're at Oppenheimer Conference, June 9th. Consumer Growth and E-Commerce Conference, June 9th, June 10th, 9:45. That's all I have on there. You bought some pizza stock last week because I kept saying pizza. Well, I'm banning you because that's what sucks is that I want to have fun. I want to do stuff, you know. And then, like, this would have been a great investment at $30, but then the people who are late, you guys ruin it because I tell you, don't buy any name that I'm up on. I'm not trying to hurt you guys. You know, when I say pizza, I'm not trying to pump it. It's funny, and I like it, and I've told you all of my thoughts on this, and we're up 50%. But that's not our strategy here. You don't go and buy 50% higher. You don't buy 30% higher. That's foolish. Even if Josh says pizza, that's a stupid reason. So that's not what we do here. Okay? And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to protect you. So I'm not here for little jokes or our culture. That doesn't equate to bad financial decisions. Everybody's having fun on this stock because we bought it at $30, not because we bought it in the 40s, not because we are there. So if you're taking the humor and using it to fuck up your portfolio, that's crazy. That's not allowed here. Okay, pizza at $30. Everything else, what the fuck are you telling me about? That's not. You know, you buy Pepsi. Yeah, buy Pepsi. Why don't you buy Pepsi and tell me about that? That's not a recommendation, but, you know, I'm very, very against people buying my plays higher. And you guys should be surprised because anybody on YouTube, anybody in the stock market world, they love it when you buy their plays higher because you're pumping it. That's what I'm saying. You could buy it and make my stocks go higher, but no. I want you guys safe because, look, I have thousands of people in here. They're not falling victim to FOMO. All they're doing is following along, and they're riding this shit from the literal bottom. And that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would you buy it anywhere here when you could have bought it safely, easily, and have been enjoying the show? You know what I'm saying? But that's everybody on Wall Street would love for you to buy higher. I hate it. I hate that. It pisses me off. I don't want you buying any stock I buy for 30%, 40% higher. That's ridiculous. I want you to buy it on the low. I want you to use my portfolio so that you could get better deals. I don't want you to get worse deals than me. What's the point of me going first if you get a worse deal? That's stupid. If I go first, I should get shot 20 times, and then you should pick up the scraps and get a way better deal. But other than that, this doesn't make any sense. Please do not buy anything at a higher price than what we buy it at. And if you think you're going to get rewarded, you will not. I will ban you, and I'm going to reprimand you. And at the end of the day, who cares if Josh says anything, because it's your money. I don't want this to flip against you, and I don't want it to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Very simple. That's all. So be safe. Be safe, baby. Pizza, pizza. I could say it. That's why, bro. Fuck all of y'all, man. I'm going to have a lot of fun. You're going to try to, well, you said pizza, pizza, so I didn't buy it when you bought it at 30, but I bought it at 45, Josh. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Wendy's now. Everyone keeps asking about Wendy's now that pizza went up. But yeah, did the pizza options move? Nah, no, they're not. Pizza options are still lagging, those June ones. I keep saying that. Last week, they finally broke out, but now stock is up. Stock is outperforming Domino's, and it's still not doing it. I just have a lot of them, though. I don't want to fucking go crazy. But then again, I already made mine free. I have the lotto, and then I made the other one free already. The lottos have not moved. The lottos are just 10 cents on the bid. Or you could get the 65s. But yeah, chilling. Nike's cheap, but it's up from the bottom. I'm still down on it, so you could justify it in that sense. But like I've been telling a lot of people lately, I'm not a fan of buying that. If you want to insist on it, I'm right on it. So good luck. At least you're getting it cheaper. But I would still rather take the name that's not up 15% in the last month. Yeah, the funniest part about pizza, pizza, that's not even Papa John's slogan, you guys. So that's ridiculous. Again, you should have bought Yum Brands or somebody else. But yeah, pizza, pizza is Little Caesars. So it's like, that is really funny if you think about it. Because I'm not even promoting the stock, technically. I'm promoting its competitor. I don't know. Tempest AI had a short report last week, and then now it's up. Okay, the bid on the pizza options moved. They heard me. They're like, Josh, I bought Advanced Auto Parts. Why? Because you kept saying, get in the zone, auto zone. So I bought Advanced Auto Parts. Okay. I guess so. I guess so. Pizza, pizza. Yo! Y'all are missing the biggest thing about this, bro. Fuck all of this. We're about to overtake Domino's. That's all I care about. Give me 1 quarter where Domino's go. I tell y'all, we just need I'm ordering a pop. Who want a Papa John's pizza right now? Who want one? Who want one, bro? I'm sending the fucking, hit me up on Twitter. You want a pizza, bro? I'm sending somebody a pizza now. Fuck that. You know what? That's it. We just got to take our market share. Yeah, fuck Domino's, bro. All that bougie pizza. Why y'all paying $300 for pizza and then y'all acting like the 46? Man, stop it. Stop it. You have to have a Papa John's close by. So let me see who I could DoorDash a pizza to. And it's $8.49. No one tagged me on. I said Twitter. No one tagged me on Twitter. You got to tag me on Twitter and tag Elon Musk and say, fix the finance bots. I want a pizza. That's it. So then that way you could help stop financial scams and you could win a pizza. That's it. That's it. Oh, there it is. Wait, who said? I need an Elon. Elon, stop the finance bots. Oh, they're coming in. Who's the first? Wait, I don't see the Elon. I want extra cheese, extra sauce. I need that shakaroni. Boom, Yonito. Got it. All right, Yonito, DM me your address, bro, on Twitter. Go, I DM'd you, bro. You were the first one. Yonito wins the pizza. No, we got it. So you guys don't worry. You could still tell Elon. I'll play this again later, but this is just to celebrate the 100-day passing of pizza over Domino's. Woo! It's not open in your area yet? Well, either way, I DM'd you on Twitter, Yonito. Send me the address and what pizza you want, and then I'll send it when they open. AK, it's too early for pizza. I forgot we're on Wall Street. It's only 8 o'clock. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was this. It's actually not a time for pizza right now, you guys, but, we could still have fun. I guess we might have to give away a pizza every hour. The part about it, too, is that you guys got to realize, I know, right, and Spy's hitting a high. I know some of you are getting pissed off at this, and that's why I'm doing it. Did you know that? So this makes it even funnier, because you guys are really mad that we bought Papa John's, and then it keeps going up, so you guys are getting pissed. So that's why I'm having more fun. So, yeah, I'm going to try to give away a pizza. We'll try to do every hour, but at the end of the day, Yonito, until the party stops, I'm going to party. Okay? I'm going to party until the party stops. Okay? If you don't like it, you weren't invited. So, it's not my fault. Not my fault. Breakfast food plays. Panera suck, though, as a stock. Panera used to, be terrible. Then they got bought out, and then they got taken private. Who's getting mad? Everybody. Why would you buy Papa John? Papa John's such a shitty stock. Why you buy shitty stock? I hate you. What do you mean? Who did buy Papa John? Buy AI. Why you buy pizza? Who buy pizza? You didn't, dude. I short-circuited motherfuckers when I bought Papa John's. You didn't see it? You don't know many fucking 20-year-olds were batshit confused in a world. Well, the market was just selling off. The world's going crazy, AI, DeepSeek, all of it. And they're like, you're buying Papa John's in a world of data centers? I'm like, yeah, you motherfucker. Of course I'm buying some good cash flow. What's wrong with you? You guys are too young for this. Yeah, VST all day, bro. 5.2. Neutrala as well. EU votes to curb Chinese access to medical device procurement. I see that. Check MDT and E-dubs. Again, those are really on fire last week. And Spy breaking out. So in the middle of our little Papa John's rant, you have filled the gap back to 5.9. Actually, technically it hasn't filled, but it's right there. So you might get lack of follow through and it dumps. But other than that, it should go crazy. Literally was on my Instagram, everything. But either way, I don't care. It's funny. And it's 50%. I mean, what am I missing? Yeah, Hood's climbing up and Zillow. Again, Spy out of nowhere. I think it was NVIDIA. Because you had Apple come down and then NVIDIA went another $1. So that's good. Like I said, I think that's going to move it all. Yeah, EU news. That's confirmed. Curbing medical devices for China. China. Look at that. APLD still going. But yeah, I was going to say breakfast companies. Sweet Greens don't have breakfast. But again, Panera. But Panera was bad before they got taken over. APLD. Yeah, bro. What the fuck? Hold on. Did they jack the options yet? No. The Magans are up 50%. You've had that from the start. Yeah, the APLDs, bro. They're kind of lagging there. Yeah, they're tightening up the bids, but it's a lot. So, like, long story short, $4 apart as, like, a 50-cent gap. And then the last ones only have a 20-cent gap. But yeah, I think they're lagging there, but the bid's climbing up. Nike, yeah, and Meta now. So watch, if you get Meta, NVIDIA, all that, I mean, it's going to be pretty big. APLD is half of the expected volume now so far. I&M Meta, bro. That I&M one, that was the one that was on fire. That faded. There's one, again, Applied was the other one. All right, man, SPY, but you got Meta and NVIDIA, and then literally Pizza hit 46. Powell speaks at 1 p.m., but he's not going to talk about economic policy, unfortunately. So he might. It's like a conference. There's like a Fed conference in like Congress and some shit, and he's just doing the intro, but he's not expected to have any, what's the word? He's not expected to have any monetary policy or economic stuff. Just a broad intro. Okay, Meta, again, Meta's got big volume. Again, Meta had news. They're saying they're launching something to make advertisements with AI. And then Pizza, they're popping. Anvis, ANVS. That is going to. What time zone? Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. So 9, 10, what? So like 1 o'clock in like an hour? Yeah. So 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Abby, Vi, and Meta now. But then SPY coming down. You use 1300. It's funny because my thing shows up in military time. That's like when I read it this morning, it was in military time, but I just convert it. But yeah, 1300. That is your exact moment. All right, SPY, MU, ANSS. Oh, what was it? Synopsis and all those? Remember last week? Etna Volcano rumor? What's that? I have no idea what that is. Shout out the bets, baby. Yeah, and high ticker's starting to gas a little harder. ASCO cancer
That's
conference?
always the question of side effects, right? The whole move here is to try to get drugs that can treat the cancer better, more targeted ways, and also reduce the side effects. But some of these drugs, like the AstraZeneca one in particular, right, it's called an antibody drug conjugate, and it's really targeted chemotherapy. But at the end of the day, it still is chemotherapy, and so you do have to
Pizza already paid out the
risks
dividend.
And also
That's
think
the
about
crazy
the patient
part, bro.
experience, right?
You've already
and what this
survived
means, because that was one of the
ex-dividend
things that
payout
the
and
discussant
everything.
mentioned was you have to weigh both the extension of
only
life, but also
regret
the
is you
quality of
didn't.
life, and make sure that those
I
are
know.
balanced.
Why did we go small?
A lot
I
of
said
trade-offs.
it was
Important
bigger.
conference and some amazing information over the last 48 hours. Angelica, thank you. Angelica Peebles watching ASCO today as we are trying to climb back
LRN.
59.07.
Whoa.
We've made some progress
Yo,
after a weak
LRN,
opening
bro.
bid. busy
Remember, we
week
talked
of data.
about these
You
ones
saw Atlanta
related
Fed this
to the
morning, 4.6 on their Q2 tracker.
That's 2%.
Yeah,
they could
so,
be at a
so
conference.
trade is a
Eyes
big
on
part
that.
of that. We've got the advanced trade deficit, and it's just not going to subtract as much. But will look like a huge rebound coming off of first quarter, which was negative growth. I think it's hard to read too much into these headline numbers now because trade is distorting so much, the imports and the exports. We're getting crazy swings in both of those. But the underlying demand will be looking for consumer spending because that was downgraded in the first quarter last week. But
yeah, LRN 2.7.
So we need
Keep
to
eyes
see
on that.
Continue. We'll get job openings data, and then of course the big jobs report on Friday. See what demand looks like for workers in this country, which has kept us strong.
Let's get to Courtney Reagan at the half.
Oscar Health, too.
Thank you very much.
Yo, they're starting to run up again. People are talking all these healthcare companies.
Front and center this hour, the summer setup for stocks.
And then you had the UNH.
UNH is going
down.
The investment committee is standing by, of course, with
Watch out,
Oscar.
Oscar.
Always. So
Crowd
joining
and
me for the hour
Microsoft
today, we have Joe
collaborate.
Terranova, Steve Weiss, Jim Leventhal, and Bryn Talkington. Let's get you a quick check on the market here on this first trading day of the month of June. The Dow Jones Industrials are the laggard here on the session, down about 0.4%. S&P 500, though, just almost marginally negative here, and the Nasdaq Composite leading the way higher by 0.2%.
All right, well, SPY's still holding. You got a couple
weekend,
things in insurance still moving.
Of tariff headlines and officials talking on different shows, trying to figure out where we are with China or where we aren't with China,
Oscar,
I suppose.
Jim,
I want to start with you because I know you've been watching a lot of headlines in geopolitics, not just tariffs. It's got you a little concerned despite the markets generally shaking it off right now.
Yeah, I've said for some time, Courtney, by the way, welcome. Good to be here with you. I've said for some time that trade policy uncertainty is the biggest thing facing the market. Well, this weekend, Geopolitics said, I'd like a word. And there's some things that happened this weekend that are pretty dramatic. The Ukraine strike on the Russian air bases is one hell of a blow. And I think we got to be careful here. Now, I'm not pushing the panic button. I don't want anybody watching to feel that the panic button is being pushed. What I am saying is this would be a good time for geopolitical hostilities to ratchet down, not further upward. It's not just the Russian-Ukrainian strike. It's the comments that Peter Hegseth was making on Friday. That's the Secretary of Defense regarding China imminently being prepared to do something about Taiwan. And then there's the ongoing intractable situation between Hamas and Israel.
Real cold news on Twitter.
Israel getting more and more concerned that the U.S. is going to make a deal with Iran that is going to allow Iran to eventually get a bomb, which to Israel is unacceptable. So there's a lot of geopolitical hostilities here that we would like to see ratcheted down. There is maybe, Courtney, going to be a talk between Presidents Xi and Trump. That would be a step in the right direction. I'd like to look for that. In the meantime, it is still trade policy uncertainty. I don't want to lose sight of that. We've got 1 month, more or less, until the pause on reciprocal tariffs goes away. We need to see some trade deals come through before those reciprocal tariffs come back in force.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
The market's trading pretty well, though. Despite that trade news, we've got a lot of resiliency. 3 weeks ago, coming off of the Geneva trade and economic meeting between the Chinese and the U.S., market gapped up higher from 56.91 to somewhere around 57.67. Since then, we've been in a range, 58.30 to 59.68. That's what we're doing. We continue to see stocks making 52-week highs. You look at the S&P 500, I think there's 15 of them today making a new 52-week high. 52-week lows, only 4 today. So you have momentum right now is a very strong factor. And what's interesting about it is it's not in the normal places. We're not sitting here talking about, oh, Apple's making a new 52-week high, or Alphabet's making a new 52-week high. It's names that we really haven't spoken much about over the last several years. It's names like Zscaler and Spotify and Palantir and Netflix and Rollins and CME and Chewy and Hood and Howmet. These are the stocks that are moving the markets higher. You have equal weighting working once again. And logically, you say to yourself, okay, we've had a remarkable run from the April lows. So it makes sense that the market now would maybe moderate those gains and correct at some point. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But you have to have the market dictate to you that that's actually what's going to unfold, and I just don't see that in the near term.
Yeah, there's so many cross currents going on right now, Weiss, and it does seem like we were reactive to tariff headlines in March, April, maybe less so in May, because the S&P 500 and NASDAQ both coming off their best month since November of 2023. The leadership is changing. What's your playbook right now to manage through the cross currents?
Yeah, so yeah, we had a great month, and we just barely in the S&P, not so in the others, covered the losses that we had. So it's kind of, so you can't look at one data point and say the market's been great. It actually hasn't. It's bounced back significantly since the lows. In terms of, I agree with everything Jim said. I mean, you've got heightened issues across the globe. I don't know if you mentioned Poland or not, but that's another one to throw in there.
Sure.
Because we don't know what happens now with Poland and Ukraine, Poland and Russia, right? Poland, in my mind, they'd be insane to not support the war in Ukraine. And in fact, the person who won the presidential election has historically been supportive of it, but now there's a question because they're next, right? They're on the board of Ukraine. Look, we're sort of immune to the tariff noise at this point because of taco, right? Because it always comes back and everybody's not getting worked. Nobody's really getting worked up about the 50%. It's positive for Cleveland Cliffs if it happens, but who knows? Tomorrow it could be 10% or it could be us paying them to export here. So you just don't know. But what you do know is that the market has done well. It has momentum. The places to be that I think are defensive continue to be, and where most of my portfolio is in big cap tech. It's not in Apple though because of their unique China issues. But I still think that that's the most defensive place to be. Healthcare typically defensive. It had the worst month last month, right? So all bets are off there. Every part of healthcare is up for grabs.
A lot of that though is because of UNH and Eli Lilly. That's 20% of the healthcare.
It's also up about Medicaid. It's also down about
I'm saying
Medicaid.
when you look at the performance of healthcare.
Yes, no, agreed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it's not a safe place to be. So
it's an interesting position that you're taking because Roth Capital thinks tech's losing momentum. The new money is focusing on defensive. JP Morgan thinks there's going to be a leadership change. They're not all in on the Magnificent Seven.
Right. And I'm not all in on them, as I said, not Apple.
Not Apple.
Okay. Google, I think it's actually okay here, but to me it's Meta. To me, it's Netflix, which is not part of Max 7, so that's where there's a leadership change.
Okay.
But to me, they've got defensible moats. They could be taxed 10%, as talk is around the world.
The taco thing is the biggest psyop ever.
Bottom line is that's where you want to be.
As far as the rest of the market,
it's just way too tough. And anybody who
call
can
a
be
negotiation a taco,
going forward,
I
when
get
you've
it
got
now.
valuation levels that are where they were a year ago, where you didn't have, a lot of this nonsense, you can't tell me why reasonably that the market should be valued.
And while I was going
keep in mind the chorus of people
thank
saying
God I'm not the one
we
who
were
makes the
overvalued
pizza.
then due for a
But
correction.
yeah, it's on the way,
now that's on
Yonito.
steroids. So just throw a number out there.
Papa
If you're
John's in
if
Florida.
you're putting all
It was
the
1
things
mile
that Jim
away
talked
from
about,
you.
some things I've
Look
talked
at that.
about, some
Look, I was like,
things
easy,
Joe
bro,
mentioned
easy.
into the market. To me, maybe the multiple's 26 times. You're seeing a record cut in earnings estimates, and I'm just throwing it out there to make a statement, not say it's the actual multiple. So look, I'm not
well, yeah, that's
adding
the stock
here unless you
market,
get
but when things go
phenomenal
bad, and
opportunities in
UNH
certain
is still
names.
very valuable. Like I'm
I just
saying,
think that you want to wait and see.
I think a lot of you guys were rushing right away, and I was trying to protect you.
Which is the strength of the
But
labor
when you
market,
got
because
now that
I
everyone's calmed down, I
understand,
think you can look
Steve,
at it a
and
little bit
unfortunately
easier.
agree with
You
a
just
great
gotta.
deal of what,
It's a
kind
very
of, for
valuable
lack of a better
name.
word,
It
your
just really
negativity.
depends on if
right?
there's
I mean,
more
it's-
issues,
have whatever word we
if the
want to
government's
use,
going to
but
get
what
in their
has
way,
not happened
or
so far, and this is really
if it
important,
does recover,
is that
then
companies have
there
not
you
been
go. It's
laying
just going to
people
take
off. Let me
time.
be a little more
But
specific
that's what
on
happens.
that.
Again,
Small
they went through a
businesses are
lot.
having
The
a hard time. If you
CEO
read the
got
Fed
murdered.
Beige Book, small
Then they
businesses,
had
particularly
fraud
in
and then
manufacturing, are
investigations,
laboring
and one thing led to
to
another.
maintain
Then
profitability
the
in
surprise
light of higher costs of
resignation.
raw goods
None
because
of
of the
this was
tariffs.
small.
But large
So
companies
that's
are not
why
laying people
those
off.
types of
We're
moves
going to have an
happen.
important
Again,
tell on this
how
on
we bought
Friday,
Meta.
but so
You know,
far the
Meta went
initial
on a
weekly
spending
jobless
spree.
claims are
They
hanging
went
in there.
from what,
This is important because it's
to
allowing
$90
GDP to continue
6
to
months.
expand. Now the Atlanta Fed GDP
So that's the
has a
beauty
lot
of
of
the
net
stock
export,
market,
net
is that when it
import
goes up, you love it,
noise
but
in it, but still
it could come down
consumption is
immediately,
growing.
and some
That's
people
the
hate
biggest
that,
part
but
of the
then that
economy.
also
And until we see
that
initial
could be your
weekly jobless
opportunity.
claims start to spike, then it looks like we can get through all of what Steve
And
and I are talking about.
that's not part of my thesis, by the way. And it is cautious, and there is a big difference between negative and cautious. And that's because the cost to recruit, to rehire, they went through that in the pandemic.
Agreed.
They don't want to go through it again. So that's going to be the last to go. Cap spending, CapEx, which is a big part of GDP also, is the first to go. And we're seeing that already. If you talk to CEOs, they're frozen.
I mean, Brent, it's very interesting. Eddie Ordeni sort of makes this point in saying the economy remarkably resilient, really, despite sort of everything that's happening with Trump's policy or potential policy that we're hearing from. I am, though, to the point that's being made on the desk, starting to worry about jobs. Obviously, you all know that I cover retail as a
somebody
reporter
on
for the network, and
financial
so I'm really really thinking about how they're going to manage the costs. And
oh my
look,
gosh,
if the cost
bring
goes
the
up here,
breaking
one
news
way to
tickers,
lower
you
costs
guys.
somewhere else is
Did
to
you hear
cut
that?
some of your labor pool. What are your
Bro,
thoughts generally on
talking
where
head
we're
on
starting
financial television
the month
is
of May
worrying.
when we're trying to balance month of June rather, as we're trying to balance all of this?
Serious.
Well, May was the best year.
So if you didn't hear it over the weekend, Scott Bessent had an interview with CBS.
Obviously, April was probably one of the worst, so they do
them for
balance each
being,
other out,
what
as
did he
Steve
call
said.
it?
I think as it
Right.
relates to
He said
retail,
all
we
of
have
the
to be
alarmist
careful.
reporting
Is you see
doesn't really make
Abercrombie had
sense.
great numbers, yet Macy's is closing 150 stores. So I think retail
No,
has
he-
its
oh,
own
you got the
retail
pe- it'll be
issues,
there in 20
and is
minutes.
not a broad
20
depiction
minutes.
of the jobs market writ large. I think the jobs market's going
Yeah,
to remain
Menace is-
strong.
Menace is about
It's
to go
going to
6,
remain
6,
strong,
6.
and we're a consumption economy. We're a service economy, and
I
so
can't believe Meta
we
was
have
higher at
so
the
much
beginning of the year.
resilience. And really, there hasn't been much change. We keep talking about all these tariffs, et cetera, but really, we haven't seen a lot of implementation. I think as it relates to like how do you play this market, we're in this, let's say 5750 on the low, 6,000 on the high. We couldn't, punch through that, and so now we're in this middle ground.
And
I think what's
there was
interesting
a-
though is you have
there was a
certain
psychedelic
stocks and
combination
sectors are
this
below
morning.
their 200-day moving
Not like
average,
don't mix your
like an
psychedelics,
Apple,
don't even do
Google,
psychedelics, but I mean
Joe's point on
combination in terms
healthcare.
of companies.
You've got energy,
There
and so I
was one
think
of-
you
I don't
need
know
to be
if it was
mindful
Mindman
of
or
those
not,
sectors and
but there was
security.
something in that space
Salesforce
this
is below
morning
the
I read news
200-day
on.
of
Oscar's
being
still
mindful
going,
of
man.
that
Like I said,
ceiling
watch out for that. That
versus
one's
if you
breaking
get a
out.
little
It's
pullback,
very different
you
than
have
any of the other
technology,
healthcare names.
You
I
have
sent out a
the
stream alert. I don't have a play
financials.
on it, but
You've
that
got
caught
so
my
many
eye.
stocks above that 200-day, and so from a buy the
Pizza,
dip
pizza.
mentality, I think you want to stick with those stocks that have punched through that 200-day and buy the dip if you see them come down, and still like fade those names that are underneath the 200-day, because I think that's going to continue for the summer at least.
We've been talking about cautiousness or negativity, Brendan. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, of course, made some comments on Friday with our Morgan Brennan, and he's worried about
First
cracks
time,
in the
baby. Good
bond
morning.
market,
Hope you're
basically
feeling
saying
good.
it's going to happen. And when it's happening,
Yeah. Oh,
when it happens, you're going to panic.
Oscar
That's what
now.
he says he's telling the regulators.
Bro,
I mean, we listen
that's
when
the
this
second
man
name
speaks,
we
right?
just had
I
up
mean,
on
what do you
watch
make
that just
of
went
this
crazy a
commentary?
couple
We
minutes
focus
later.
obviously so much on equities, but
Yeah,
the
I
bond
sent out
market
a
has
stream alert like 30
really
minutes ago or
dictated
20 minutes
a
ago
lot
on
of
that,
what's
whenever that
playing
pump
out
was.
sort of writ large
But
in
yeah,
the
it just
economy.
did a 30-cent pop.
Yeah,
that
well,
was
I think
5%.
he probably
And then it
echoes
came right back
what
down.
Rand Paul, Ron
I'll check
Johnson,
volume on it for you. I don't have a
also
headline. I
believe.
just
And so
see it
he did say
outperforming.
6 months or 6 years, and I do think we're
And I
all
keep seeing the
concerned
Papa
about,
John's
from both
new
sides,
cheddar
this
crust pizza.
unregulated
I ordered
spending
that for you,
and the lack of
Yonito. It was on the
cuts. Because
headline.
growth,
Yeah, I got you a
if
classic, but I got
we
you the
get
new
GDP
cheddar
growth
crust.
at 3%,
That kept showing
that's
up.
great,
But
but
let me
it's a
check
big
Oscar.
if. And so I do think as Congress is coming back today to talk about this bill, you're going to have
I don't see
once
anything
again,
on
Rand
Oscar
Paul,
coming out right
Ron
now.
Johnson, 4 other senators on the Republican side, all pushing back, saying, hold on
Legend
a
Bio.
minute. And so I
Again, a
think
lot of
that's gonna
biotechs
start
today. You
taking
saw that
front
in the
stage.
morning.
And that I believe that they are going to, like Jamie Dimon, continue to have
Oscar's
that
already
narrative,
trading
that
above
drumbeat
average
of
volume,
you have
but
to have some
it's going to
semblance
have
of
not the
fiscal
highest volume of the
responsibility,
week, but
because
like the second or third
3%
highest.
GDP is
That
a
was good.
maybe, not a certainty.
Again, it just had that move. I keep it on watch
There's
still.
two
I don't have a
things that
play.
you have to concern yourself when you're thinking about asset allocation and what
The FUD
sectors
is
you want to
still on. Oh,
go
yeah.
into for a portfolio. First of all, the market still wants growth. I'm talking about there being dispersion where an equal-weighted strategy can actually work, but that's not to say that the value names.
I love it. Yeah, and you haven't heard rotation this morning because, like I showed you, the staples have been weird. And even like healthcare and it's about to be Mag 7 land, if anything, or the staples are either going to go with Mag 7 or they're going to get left behind. But, the last 2 weeks were kind of weird with that. And I think that's why as we get these moves, you're not seeing it. You don't see that volume on Oscar? No, I see it. I see it, and my other volume thing shows, heavy volume on it. Most of the people bought lower, though. There's very minimal activity above this price. Like into the 14, less than 2% of the stock today of that above average volume has purchased around here. Most of the volume's in the 13s. Regen, they were clobbered this morning, no? Or was that on Friday? Oh, yeah. They're moving. No, oil was big in the morning, but it was the OPEC. Oil's up 3.5 right now. And then UAL and Learn, those both moved in tandem, even though they're completely opposite. Those moved in the morning, if you remember. It does feel broadening, but just, I don't know. After last 2 weeks, the word rotation is weird because you didn't see that. Like, you've watched little pieces of it, but staples, healthcare, defensives, like I showed you, as a percentage of the S&P 500, it's minimal. It's kind of crazy. This is why I'm saying get ready long term, boys, because this is going to be an opportunity. Like, literally, like, you saw it at the beginning of the year. Staples and defensives killed it, but then they flipped. Some stayed, some didn't, but as a whole, like, legitimately, this is the best value you're getting on healthcare, utilities, defensive, staples, relative to the S&P in the last, like, 25 years, 35 years. So I think this is going to be awesome, but it still has more to develop. But that's why I think people are not, last 2 weeks it's hard to say rotation because it's not really rotating, not like Mag 7 took off and then the staples went down. So we're in a weird mix here, but I would definitely keep your eyes out for Mag 7 leadership. People are talking about it. Hedge funds just went from mad shorting to mad buying. So let's see what happens, but that is a major theme. Much love from Idaho. Oh, the potatoes. Right? Isn't Idaho potatoes? All right, bro. We've stayed at this price for like 2 hours, man. 9:16. Almost halfway done with Monday. And it's going to be a full week like this time. Remember, last week, bro, we started at Tuesday, and then that's it. And then your first little red candles on pizza. China, that's what Hegseth was saying. That's why, dude, there was a lot of global tensions over the weekend, from Ukraine to Israel and even a damn terrorist attack in Colorado. And then even the Hegseth warnings on China and Taiwan. So we've heard a lot. Even UK defense spending was this morning. That thing's ramping up. But yeah, that maybe you feed that into gold, or gold's worried about the money. But there was a lot more, I feel like, global tension or global headlines this weekend than maybe some in the last, like, 3 months. And it is already June, and the SPY has gone nowhere. That's the crazy part. So we're like, what? This is right where you were at December 31st, give or take? Maybe like the first trading day, second trading day? 43 minutes till pow. Yes. Again, it's only going to be an intro. Eyes will be peeled, but maybe he unlocks some movement. I mean, NASDAQ is up. Again, equal weight is down. The SPY is up, but SPX is red. So we'll see. LRN, I looked at it earlier, but I'll see. XAI 113 valuation, looking to sell 300 million in shares. DXYZ. Destiny. That's the one that just buys these companies, but it's still overvalued. Yeah. It's trading higher, though, from when we first looked at it. Sony's on the high. Remember Sony was supposed to spin off that chip unit? We played it that one time. Again, Capital One, BMY on the high, Ascend, dude, these are all biotechs. Biotechs and Pharma. It has less restaurants than Little Caesars. Pizza does? I thought they had more. Pizza has more restaurants than almost every food company you could think of, but I guess if Little Caesars, but they are number 4. But yeah, I mean, at this point, though, the thesis we talked about at the beginning of the year, and then again 2 months ago at this point. How can SPY be green and SPX be red? Because one is an ETF and one is like the cash index. So again, remember, like when we look at SPY, it is the market, but it is an ETF. SPY is an ETF that replicates the actual cash S&P 500 index. So sometimes that happens. Again, we've been watching a lot of that lately. Like I said this morning, the other day, futures hit a high, equities did not. And now today, I think equities hit a high before futures. There's a lot of weird back and forth. The last couple weeks have been fascinating. I'm telling you, and that's why we've from the news headlines, the surprises, all the way down to like this weird chop city and movement. There's a lot riding on it. I think that's why people were calling for big move up or down, because this is getting really choppy, no real follow through, and you're getting, again, just a lot of weird things from liquidity to this, the Fed, small movements, adjustments, but now, little by little, currencies, dollars, rates are all still terrible. And yeah, here we are. So we will see. CIB? What's this? Grupo Sebest? It's foreign. Yeah, ISM was pretty much in line. Remember, it's been hard to read that with the correlation. I had silver up, so you're going to hear people talk about silver today a lot. A lot of people asked me already. But that's going up through those levels. That's it, man. You only 30 minutes, and then we go. Yeah, it sucks, though. Powell's going to come on, but it's just not going to be, like, big. Who knows? Maybe we get surprised. Yeah, CIB volume, that's popping out. Zscaler. And then SPY, bro, we've been in this range. You're at the higher point, but it has been hours. How long do you think all that money is on the sidelines is going to sit there? Oh, I could tell you factually when it will move. It sucks. I need to get it on my other computer, but that money on the sideline right now, it's over 7.25 trillion. That is the money markets, but it will go down when rates come down. That's it. That's historically last 30 or even 50 years. That money markets only move with rates coming down. So, and not all of it will come in, but definitely, like, if there's high rates, why would anybody move that money? I think as rates start to go down, it'll start every 1% of rate declines will unleash like $1 trillion or so. I think a little more. But if rates don't come down, money markets don't come down. If rates come down, money markets will come down. I think it's super easy. It's funny because we've looked at so many ways to find an answer to that question and ask so many things, but it's easy. Money and the general money and the more normal person and institutions, both sides, they don't move until rates come down. And again, there's history, and you could go back and look through it. And go look at the money market history. I showed it on one of the watch lists. I had a chart that went back to the 70s, even prior to the 70s. So like even during the 1970s, stagflation, inflation, the rally from 80 to 90, and then even leading into the tech bubble of the 2000s. Every time money markets would keep climbing, but it only had a sizable decline, and you saw people buy and rush back to the market. It only occurred when the rates would come down. And every time rates were on the climb, money markets loaded up. They loaded up ammo. So nobody shoots until the rates come down. And some of you should think about that, because that is the reality of it. Why would you be spending it? Because if assuming you have a plan, just like our long term, you see it's right now we're just saving money. That's it. Why? Because even if we save up money, we build up cash until there's a good deal. But it's like you let that grow, let that do its thing. And that's telling you, right now with rates high, the Fed is even telling you have a better shot doing nothing. They're trying to slow things down to a degree, not get people, going, ape shit over stuff. So rates lower will cause that. Rates high, I mean, you are incentivized to hold. So hopefully you respond to that incentivization. Well, it doesn't matter how far they go down. Just every time rates come down, that's going to open up like a little spigot of money to start going back. That's why I was saying probably like every 1% at a time, it'll unleash maybe like $1 trillion that's sitting on there. But it's hard to tell. It all just depends how the rates go down, why they go down. But in general, any rate drop will bring some amount of money back into the game. right? And any lack of rate dropping, you could expect that number to keep climbing on money market amounts. I can't believe June 2nd. Why? Dude, halfway done. Josh Brown, top 5 best list. Yeah. So again, they like things at all-time highs. And then they like to be worried. Yeah, I'll take it, Josh Brown. Josh Brown loves the Colt portfolio. Amen. Amen. Oh, wait, is DVR on? I hope not. Some banks trading private credit. It's like credit and debt for companies that are not publicly traded. So, like, I don't know. Like, let's say Chick-fil-A, they're private. But if they might raise money and do a bond sale and, like, credit. So that would be private credit. Or, again, little organizations. In Sonoma for the ladies' B-Day. Oh, enjoy it, bro. It's beautiful. Is it good weather? Sonoma. Oh, that's Toyota. I like Sonoma. Lyra is the rhinosinuses drug? What's that? And then Lion, that's the Steve Munchkin stock. SPY got a red. I mean, that's what sucks about these moves is that you go nowhere for 3 hours. So, like, you don't want to overreact to anything. But then again, all it takes is one little bad streak. And then, yeah, then it'll finally move. The Fed hasn't cut. Yes, and every central bank has. That's why it's just odd. And it would be less odd if everybody didn't follow each other. But I told you guys this in advance. It just played out weird. Like, do you guys remember last couple of years everybody had correlation? I even have a chart of it. I could find it for you. But we talked about it. Like, every central bank was moving in tandem. You've never seen anything like it. That's what I'm telling you, man. Under Biden, there was like state and global strength. Because obviously he wasn't the president. Somebody else was running that shit. That's why they all came into agreement. But at the end of the day, bro, like, I'm telling you, man, under Biden, every central bank, boom, U.S., everybody was aligned. Heavy correlation. And I told you, wait till you start watching central banks start to break from each other. But in a weird way, everybody has started to do the same thing still. Only person that we've broken off is U.S. That's it. We stopped doing it. We cut with them, and then they started going crazy, and then we just stopped. And that's what I'm saying. It's very, very interesting because you went from 5 years of heavy central bank correlation to now 5-6 months of just breaking that streak in a weird, weird way. Mm-hmm. Regen dual GLP-1 for Hanso Pharma. Oh, no way. Is that the news? They had a bad news. I swear I only read bad news on Regen. Well, Claus left. But yeah, like, either way, conspiracy or not, this is something I've always told you. Like, state strength under Biden is very strong. Like, they know how to. They have a better PR team, like we talked about. But and again, even the Fed and the policy. But now we are in we're breaking apart. But this is the opportunity. I always told you, once central banks and currencies and countries start doing their own thing, that's how you have opportunity. Because if everybody does the same thing, everything stays the same. That's what people don't get. That's the thing with like global currency that a lot of people misunderstand, is that if a lot of countries make major changes, but they all go in the same direction, nothing really changes. Does that make sense? So like when everybody cuts rates, or if we weaken or strengthen and then the other currencies weaken or strengthen, nothing really changes. You're just moving at different levels, but nothing really changes. The only way you get real changes from currency and rates is when one person moves and everybody else doesn't adjust equivalently. Then there's now gains to be made by the difference. Yeah, Spy still holding, bro. We just doing our thing, man. So, should I get you guys ready? I think I'm gonna get you ready. You guys know it's 9:30, and we have philo in 30 minutes. Unfortunately, your philo correlates with Jerome Powell, and even though Jerome Powell, I like listening to him, I'm still gonna be going to philo. So I'll tell you now, Jerome Powell's not gonna say shit. You know, if you think I'm the Powell whisperer, that's fine, but I'm not expecting much. So believe me, I'm not robbing you. I'm not holding Jerome Powell over your head for $5, but I'm just telling you, he's not going to say anything. So I'm going to take the executive decision to go ahead and do that. Is he really retiring? So you don't watch the watch list at all, and then you just make these half-ass statements? Got it. Word. Watch the watch list, brother. Stop wasting my time. Okay, thank you. But other than that, like I was telling you, he's not going to say much. So I'm going to be going to philo. If you don't have your membership, then you will just have to deal with the people pumping all of those other weird Powell statements. See, but here I make sure that we stop that out. So amen, amen. Did I read your mind? Did I? I don't know. I don't have any mind reading powers. And Nvidia up, Russia beginning of complete withdrawal from Ukraine. Oh, no way. That'd be very good. That would be a tailwind, especially after this weekend. Oh, David. Well, welcome, David. Yeah, don't buy the membership, though, if you don't want to hear about Jesus. Because I'm going to tell you about Jesus. And then you can't be like, oh, I paid to hear about Jesus. Why are you talking about Jesus? I'll be like, you paid to hear Jesus. Jesus wouldn't actually charge you, but I charge you because I'm a flawed human. And this is a stock channel. And I'm not here for only Jesus, but I like to go talk about Jesus. But then people get mad at me. So we found a win-win. Woo! Oh, Leonard Godwin. Okay, well, welcome. I'll give a pizza away at 10. I don't know. Let me see. Did you get your pizza, Yonito? Oh, yeah, it was, bro. Yeah, your dad, 3 minutes ago, Yonito, they dropped it off at your door. I got a picture. Can I post your front door? I'll take the address out. Because I'm going to have a nice collection. I have nice collections of pizzas at your guys' front doors that I sent you. Like, actually, though, because, you know, DoorDash, how they take the picture? So, like, I got mad pizzas. SLS with cancer news? Again, biotechs are on fire. It's a small cap, so be careful. But see, I'm seeing like 15 other ones, bro. NC, DVAX, there's a lot. Eyes. Pizza. You don't realize how OG you are? Oh yeah, I'm very OG. I am the OG, you know. I tried to be humble. It was like a fake humble, you know. And I let people slide with that shit, but nah, bro, we changed the game. You haven't realized? There would not be these option traders without our impact. I promise you that. Well, maybe they would have. It just would have happened a different way. You know, it's God's plan. I didn't do anything. God just put me here. So I don't take any credit for it. But, you know, we had a good impact. And I think we're going to have more of an impact. And that's why I look forward to long terms and more. But, yeah, I mean, none of this shit is new. And I hope some of you, it may be new to you, but, yeah, we've walked the streets of Wall Street for a very, very long time. I've spent more of my life in the stock market than out of it at this point. That's the crazy part. Not many people could say that, but, you know, in the mix of the internet, the streaming, all of it, and then just my young age and how I got involved. I mean, I've been involved with markets more than I have not been. I've been more involved with markets than I have a playground. You know, even growing, I've had more of a stock market than a childhood. But then again, it reflects through the long term. So, amen. I did have a good childhood though, but just started young. Russia proposes limiting the number of Ukrainian troops and weapons. It all sounds like they're making progress. Miso Robotics. Is that the food ones? But no, I haven't. I've heard, yeah, big red on Tessie. Regen still going. Again, they had a GLP one. The Tesla one's not big. It's a bigger red on the SPY, but I'm assuming a big tech dropped. Well, no, they're just all doing. It's not too big, honestly. It's what we've been doing every single hour or so. And then it goes. That's why I said it sucks, because one of these reds or greens were actually going to break out, but then you'll spend 2 hours of fake. So, yeah. I think I've heard of that Miso one, but yeah, I'm not too familiar. But be careful in investing in like private early stage stuff. But once it really gets traction, yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. I said this on Friday. Like, the world is getting really close to automation. I don't think and again, it sucks because every fucking computer nerd has been saying this for 15 fucking years. So there's no real like alarmism about it, because they've been crying wolf about this forever. But like I'm telling you, from like the Waymo to the AI to like robotics, like I do think in the next like 16 to 18 months, automation might like legitimately impact our jobs numbers. But like we are barreling towards it, and I don't think it's not that people aren't ready. I don't think we care, but then like we're used to it and we think we've already seen it, but we haven't. But yeah, it's getting weird. Like I'm saying, AI, even Meta and changing, like now AI is going to do your ads. That I remember when they created the ad creator in 2015. I remember that's how I took advantage of it to benefit off of real estate ads. But it's just crazy, bro. But like we are inching towards all of that. So robotics, robotic arms, robotic factories, all of that, it's going to be there. But once it gets real traction, I would invest if you want. But be careful of going too early. We all gonna be lazy? No. I mean, dude, I'm ecstatic. You don't realize that? I'm so ecstatic. I'm irreplaceable. I love it. I'm sorry, guys, but you better start learning to be irreplaceable, and you can be. I really think so. So, like, if you were working a job where you could be replaced by automation, you should start thinking about how to automate it yourself. But if you're in a job where you need to like be ahead of something, and you are like, again, there's an element of creativity and not like basic tasks and organization, you're going to do very well. I'm very excited. I think I look very forward to my future with automation, because a lot of my businesses could benefit off of it. And then I think we have a lot of competitive advantages that I'm going to, do you know how many computers I'm going to abuse? Even though I've been doing it my whole life. I love it. I look forward to technology, because there's always going to be an inefficiency somewhere. And if you are smart enough and locked, you don't even have to be smart. You just have to be locked in and early. You could take advantage of it. And I look forward. And again, I think the creativity that I offer in many ways and that I give to you in news, and like you've seen it in real time. I know damn well AI can't read news how I read news. That's it. Even if it knows all the info, AI has to read words. It doesn't understand people and the connection. Not yet, and maybe it'll get there, but even then, I think you will always need somebody to know when the AI is hallucinating with information analysis, and I think we have a really big advantage on that. But the long story short, is that it's closer than you think, and I don't mean it in like a Terminator way, and I also don't mean it like everyone loses their job way, but it's like it's weird. Do you understand how weird what I'm saying is? Because it's really weird to me. I don't know how to describe it because I'm like I already knew about this, and it's already been right in front of me this whole time. Like I don't know why a Waymo ride changed it, but like no, that Waymo ride blew my mind. And then I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't really like that's, dude, I did a whole weekend transporting myself with a robot. That's insane. in this time. And like, again, and I had to explain it to my girl. Like, do you guys understand why people are so excited about general intelligence? Do you realize that's the next step? So again, it goes like AGI, you want AGI, and we're waiting till AI gets into like systems, right? And remember I was telling you end of last year how, and then they had the NVIDIA conference talking about AI in real life. That's not necessarily the end step, believe it or not. The step is general intelligence, and you have to understand why. There will be a time now that once you get the automation and once you could automate AIs perfectly, and then once these AIs become smart enough to like now it's no longer artificial intelligence. Now it's no longer an animal or a toddler. We're talking about a computer that is literally as smart as you. It has general intelligence. Do you understand that? Not artificial. So it's not like it takes up data. Like if you ever saw DeepSeek or if you ever go run through Grok, it's dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely more advanced than it was, but it's like, it just goes through info. It's compiling. But general intelligence, that motherfucker's going to think. That motherfucker, not like deep think, it's going to like have intelligence like a human. So do you realize why that's the end game? Do you not realize it? Because once you have general intelligence, if you have hardware, once you plug in that bitch for 10 minutes, that's it. All of our problems will be figured out. Not all of our problems, maybe all of, and then new problems will emerge. But most of general human problems could be solved after you plug that in. That's the sci-fi explanation of it all. But there is some truth to it. Does that make sense? Why? Because now imagine you took general intelligence, humans, like a real smart person, not artificial, and it knew how to think, it knew sarcasm, it knew everything, right? And then you gave it the compute power of every computer in the world. Now it could learn how to take every technology and make it 1 inch. Now it could there you go, nanites, all that bullshit. It's a sci-fi movie after that, because now general intelligence would actually be able to figure out all this shit, and it would know how to slim down every chip, everything, every medicine. You'll probably have an answer to 15 minutes. It'll tell you how to cure cancer because it would have been running tests on general intelligence for 15 minutes if it has the compute. You get what I'm saying? That's the whole idea. Yeah, it's like a digital intelligence nuke. It really is. It would just be replicating human intelligence across the compute of computers, of like the internet, and that bandwidth now for humans, and then connecting it all. But that's the whole idea. But did you guys know that? I hope. Yeah, so it sounds like a sci-fi movie, but do you realize that this is what people are legitimately thinking about? I hate to break this, but that's what I'm saying. This is weird. Because it may take 5-10 years to get between steps, and then one step might just happen in a year. You get what I'm saying? That's why everyone's like, oh my God, you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose, And it's like, dude, shut up. Nothing's happening. But then one of these years, we're going to fucking leapfrog. You get what I'm saying? And then you're going to spend 5 years in between stages and then 1 year to leapfrog. But that's why I'm like, it's a weird-ass conversation, but that's where it's headed. And that's what people want. And that's the money maker. And that's the whole, like, yeah, you may lose your job, but think about what I just said. That's a different world, bro. We're not ready for that yet. That would change everything, legitimately. Suddenly, yes, all suddenly. But if you're not aware, though, I hope you find a way to know and learn this stuff, and not in like a sci-fi manner, but like a, again, there's going to be a reward for the people who know how to balance this between sci-fi movie and like real economic industrialization, change, shift, all that. So I'm excited, but it's a trip, dude. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, dude, it started with a Waymo, but oh yeah, bro, that Waymo was my leapfrog moment. That was when I realized, I was like, holy shit, dude, we might be way closer to that leapfrog than we think. And now one step leads to the next. And just remember, every day it's powered, bro, and learning. We're taking steps as I'm talking, damn it. And it's like, wow. So I look forward to it, but it's going to be interesting, both the leapfrog and then the development years. But yeah, I think everyone's looking out for the leapfrog, and we might be closer to it than we think. But truly fascinating, bro. Truly, truly fascinating. So people will lose their jobs, but one won't need jobs anymore? I don't know, but that's the funny part, is like, that's where like everybody wants to have that conversation. But I think that conversation is what makes people miss truly understanding this, right? Because then you're like, well, we don't need to work. Like, that's just talking way too futuristic for now. It's just the fact of like I'm saying, what happens when we go from AI computers to automation and then general intelligence. You have to start thinking about how that shift is it's gonna be jarring, but that's it. I'm not worried about, because even when that happens, automation, when we first really start seeing it, like pretty much scale all of the Waymo, like think Waymo, but for factories and everything, right? That's going to still take years. You're not going to still lose your job just, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to turn into a society of nanites and, you're a little body bag just sitting there. No, not yet. But that's why I'm like, you should really just focus on automation and automation coming into reality and the industries that it will affect and how. And that, I think, is an easy way to grasp it and just understand that's exactly where we're headed. And that, like I'm saying, that leapfrog moment, we might be closer to it than you think. So that's why it's just like the next leapfrog moment, it starts around these little cars. And it starts around robotic arms and restaurants. And then before you know it, like I'm saying, maybe in 18 months, we'll see a change. And then it'll lead to another development and change. But I'm not worried about we don't have to work yet and all that shit. Like I'm saying, I strongly encourage you to take AI in doses and digestible. Don't go too far into the future, because then it's not really easy to think about it realistically. You get what I'm saying? Because now once you start, you go two more developmental steps, we're fucking talking about Neo in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? And body bags and nanites. It's like, okay, hold on, that's not digestible, right? But Waymo is, and self-driving cars, and every factory on robotic arms, every drive-through using a robotic arm. I can see that. That's what I think might slap everybody in the face way sooner than we think. But we don't need to go to flying cars and, breathing in Mars just yet. But essentially, that is the ambition that people have. Because if you do get high compute and general intelligence, it unlocks that problem. But at the end of the day, that's not digestible. That could still take another 15 to 20 years. But in a couple of years, general automation, I think, is very fast approaching. Fed Powell in 10 minutes. All right, Chad. Well, thank you to all the new members. Welcome, Sean. Oh, we had Zarafsa. Oh, there was one more. Who else was it? Hold up. Yeah, it was Kisa. Kisa Humble. Welcome, baby. Well, shout out all the new members. I appreciate you joining. I hope I could give you some special access, you know, because that's the other thing. I used to never offer anything to the members, and they still showed so much support. So now I get to offer you exclusive content. But on that note, let's move on over. Even though we have about 10 minutes since Jerome Powell is going to be coming on, I want to be ready for that. So, I think it's like I said, I'm not expecting much. You don't have to. If you want to listen to Powell and feel like you're going to pay me $5 because you'll miss Powell, you don't have to. I don't think you're going to miss anything. He's not going to say anything. Other than that, though, if you want to be there, listen to some Jesus and some other things. Maybe we talk about robots and AGI. I would love to chat with you, but that is going to be a members-only activity. But other than that, let us get going. Are we on Gen Pop? We are in Gen Pop now. Lulu on the high in GH. Opening. All right. Oh, Enrico. Oh, Bob, thank you. He thanked the guy who gifted him. Amen. Amen. That is now your Chad big bro. Here you go. It's like a frat. Well, STX pop in. There is the link, Chad. I love you all. God bless you. Thank you for being here. We should be back on by Power Hour. Other than that, don't get too jumpy on Powell. He's going to be live in 8 minutes. And happy Monday. It kind of flew by, bro. So we'll see where this week takes us. But again, not anything too decisive. So I will see you in a little bit, baby. All right. I hope. Wait, hold on. I gotta make sure it moves us. No Econ. All right. We're good to go. All right, so I'll see you in a little bit. And base.